Anybody who's watching this, even if you love doing stuff for people, unless they're invested in some sort of way, they're not going to take care of something. I never, ever take help for free. If somebody's like, oh, no, you don't gotta pay me, I'll just do it for free. If you don't do what you do, there has to be something that you're not receiving, because if it's free, it's just like, oh, well, whatever. It's free anyways.
I get 2 quotes out of this. You can't invest yourself unless you're invested in. No reward, no risk. It's a flip. Without presenting that reward, there's no risk to them not showing up.
That's exactly what it is. Glad you thought of it, bro.
3, 2, 1. Hello and welcome to episode 77 of Ruse Radio. Chicka, chick, chick. 77.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
77?
77.
Damn.
Oh, I should have went chicka, chicka, sicka, 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 77. I can't think of a way to make it work. I'm trying to do it like a record scratch.
That was perfect.
There's something in there.
That was it.
Like 77. Yeah.
Ruse Radio.
Yeah.
77.
77. It's just a nice number. It's got a nice ring to it. And who is with us on 77 today?
I don't know. He didn't show up today. So.
He didn't show up?
Yeah. No, TJA. What's up, y'all?
Oh my God.
It's been a minute,
TJA.
guys. It's been a minute that I've been in like Flint for, I've been gone, bro. I've been like on vacation.
Where have you been? Tell us about it.
I ended up moving away downstate, closer to Detroit, so Metro Detroit area, just doing my thing, still doing music and everything, trying to stay in the scene. But yeah, no, I don't even remember when I moved, bro. Like, I think it was like 5-6 years ago after like, all the everything, man. I've got so many roots in here, man. So it's good to be back. Shout out to your podcast, man. Shout out. Thanks for having me in here, brother.
Thank you for being here.
So
I'm glad I dragged you back out to Flint.
Yeah, I mean, you had to twist my... No, I was kidding. No, he messaged me, guys. I was like, absolutely, I want to be on your podcast.
What is it about Flint that you like so much?
Honestly, it's just been the people. Every time I come back here, it's just always been like a nice welcome back. It's always been, hey, what's up? I mean, like... all my family is here. Tons of love for everybody, and it's good to it's nice to come back to the city and then see how much people have grown and how much the city has grown. So like it's just I don't know. It's like a proud moment for your roots every time you come back. Yeah. After like after back in my day, but back in my day, we used to be like number 1 on the most dangerous city in America list. We used to be. Or the Flint water, which is still basically a thing, but, when it was all the hype and all that stuff. But we just come a long way, just like reputation-wise, people-wise, and the people have grown so much, like, at least in the music scene that I can say. So it's really dope. And to see downtown, bro, I didn't know the Capitol was open. Like the freaking theater.
Oh, yeah.
When did they do that?
I think that was, 2 years ago, maybe it was last year. I feel like it was a couple years ago. They've done a few things there. I know there was a big, I want to say Wale came out to Flint.
No shit.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Wale.
At the Capitol?
Yeah.
Bro.
Yep.
So yeah, I need to get out here more. I need to visit a lot more and keep up with some shit. But yeah, man, I miss it.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking a little bit before the podcast about the Flint music scene and how the only way you can really breathe life into it is to be the person to bring it, to put the pieces back together and to bring it back up from what it is. And I think all Flint needs in general is things like that. In the entire culture, in the business industry, in all of it, we need to see more people who are pioneers and just, connecting the community together to form something greater.
And being more inviting, too.
That's what I'm saying, to bring people in and to just work together. Because I think that's what a lot of it's missing. Is people trying to be independent and solo, and you get a whole lot of... You miss a lot of growth opportunities when you do that.
Yeah.
I feel, and I think that's just kind of the mindset you see. I don't know. I don't know what the answer is, but I think Flint is getting a lot better, and I think we're heading in the right direction.
Really?
Yeah, I think so. Like the things you're saying. I mean, even that theater opening back up, that's the right move.
It was
it's
major,
great to see it
man.
open.
That's major. That's so awesome.
Capitol Theater's awesome. I mean, I still have been meaning to go there. They did a showing of Pulp Fiction as well.
Okay.
They show movies every now and then.
That's dope. That's dope. I got to get out there then. I got to see a movie or two.
Exactly.
Bring some friends out, man. Mm-hmm. Yeah, when is Back to the Bricks? Do you know? What is that,
I think it just happened.
What?
I want to say. I might be wrong. I could be wrong.
Please be wrong.
This might be something I should Google live on the podcast. Now, I should also say, on record, this podcast was recorded a little over a month before it's being released. So Back on the Bricks probably did already happen. Either way.
Watch it already happen once you get to that point. Yeah.
The people listening are like, Back to the Bricks. We're going to get their hopes up and back down and back down. We're going to say it's about to happen, and then it happened 3 weeks before it actually released.
Because I always do the
August
ride-along.
19th. August 19th.
Yes, because they're redoing the Bricks, right?
Oh, so you know what? No matter what, it's before whoever's listening, it's still about to happen.
It's still going to happen.
Yeah.
It's going to rain. No,
But they're redoing the Bricks right now. Is that
That's
what?
so dope, too. That's so dope. Yeah, no, they needed it, because, like, my motorcycle dude riding down Main Street. Just
I'm surprised you even did it.
It's
surprised you
gnarly.
didn't just take a side street.
It's gnarly, yeah, just ride on the sidewalk.
That's what most sane people would have done.
No, you gotta soak up the city, man. You gotta soak it up.
Well, that's what's so nice about it, is that it is kind of a historic Flint thing. It'd be a shame for them to just replace it with something else. It's nice they're doing new bricks and keeping it the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah, man.
It's needed it for a while. If you're a Flint native, you're very aware of how the state of that brick road. I mean, it's actually not as bad as some of these streets nearby with the potholes. I think when I went out to Beecher, I want to say, I couldn't believe the potholes.
Yeah.
I was actually amazed at how bad the streets were.
The Metro Detroit area, bro.
Yeah.
Terrible.
So
Terrible.
Yeah. Tell me a little bit about this Metro Detroit area.
Bro,
Tell me about it. Because you
so-
went from Flint to the Metro Detroit area.
So, like, stay in Waterford, work out in Novi, go down to Detroit for different shows in, like, Corktown and, what's that? There's a couple other spots downtown. But, like, bro, yeah, everywhere you go, it is the worst freaking roads ever. Like, you really have to
Worse than here?
strategically. It's way worse. You have to strategically know and plan out where you don't just follow your GPS. You got, like, you'll go down a street where you drive your car into a pothole. Like, it's bad. It's horrible, bro. It's horrible. But and now they're trying to fix it up, which is nice. But
Are they really?
Kind of. But it's construction season down there, like Michigan has. So
I'm praying for you.
dude, yeah, yellow cones and potholes, you're just dodging those the whole time.
And you're on a motorcycle some of these times?
Yeah.
Most of these times or just
Yeah,
sometimes?
Most of the time.
That's
I've
something.
had to replace 2 rims already. Yeah, I have.
Okay, so this is something I've thought about a lot with motorcycles, and I'm glad I have you to ask here right now. So, how do you even deal with potholes with that thing? Like, if you dip into one, I would imagine it would wipe you out.
You have to. So you're always looking ahead. You're trying to avoid it.
Yeah.
But if you have to hit like something or like a pothole or anything like that, you just shit and get it, man. You clench your asshole. You stand up, and if you don't stand up, it's going to hit you so hard in your tailbone. Oh. It's not going to feel great. You might bend a rim if your tires don't have enough air in them, and it's just. Oh man, it's all bad, dude. Dude, there's times that I've looked at a pothole and I'm just going fast enough where I'm like, all right, here we go.
It's like a split-second thought, too.
Yes.
Because as soon as you think it, it's already happened.
Yeah, right. That's what it is, too. You're barely out of your seat, so like the pothole throws the rear end up just to hit you, and it's it never.
And is it a big throw? Like, does it go up pretty high? Like, how high would you say that jump is when it pops up?
It just depends on how high that gap is and how fast you're going. But typically, it just like it'll bounce the rear end up, so like it hits you a little bit, not like over the top or anything like that. But no, it's. But dude, I highly recommend motorcycles.
Yeah, it sounds great. Sounds like a fun time.
Dude,
I mean, especially. Rue's going to Chicago. Every time I'm in Chicago, man, I think a motorcycle would be dope.
Yeah.
Or just any major city, I suppose. Any congested traffic.
You should.
Yeah, because you could do
Can you
things.
lane split in Chicago, like legally?
You can in New York, right? I think you can in New York, but I don't know about Chicago. I haven't seen it. Like, I haven't even, because I'm just thinking about how I've seen people on bicycles in New York, and they're just dipping through the streets.
Yeah.
So I have to imagine you're
most
but
people
I haven't
don't give
seen
a
that
shit
in Chicago at all.
But the difference is if it's legal in another state, you can like, people are conscious of it. Like it's the law, like they, you can fit through. Mm-hmm. But like, dude, I'd be shitting my pants trying to drive in between cars. Like the moment somebody opens their door, it's just too fucking close.
Nobody wants that. Absolutely nobody in the world would want to crap their pants in traffic. So how do you stop something like that from happening? How do you stop yourself from being in a New York City street, riding your bike, and then all of a sudden you're flipping out because you got doors opening, you got people running about? What are you going to do? How are you going to save yourself? Well, I can tell you one way. I think I know what my strategy would be, and it would be CBD. That's right, folks. CBDFX is a proud sponsor of Roots Radio. We love CBD. CBD is great for you. It does great things. It makes your body feel better. It makes you work better. It makes you perform better. And it makes you less stressed for when you're going through those city streets and you think you might just have a bladder disaster. Now, let's get back to those New York City streets. When I first saw a video of someone, like I just said, riding a bike through New York City traffic, I thought in my brain, because I'm from Flint, Swartz Creek, I'm thinking, like, I can't even conceptualize that traffic. I don't even know what that is.
Way too thick.
Yeah,
Way
and
too
so
thick.
I think that's why we think that way. Yeah. When like somebody who lives around there, they're
like whatever.
They're dipping through the traffic. They're
Right.
not thinking about it.
They're gone.
They're
too.
gone.
Especially if you like fall or hit somebody or scratch, you're still gone. You're
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
sorry, but I gotta go. Peace.
Yeah, it's a hard knock life out there.
Dude, hell
if
yeah.
you're a bicyclist in the streets of New York City.
Yeah.
So I feel like we just don't even have the mentality for it because we have these thoughts. We're worried about the guy who opens his door.
Yeah,
They don't
that's what
give
it
a
is.
shit. Yeah.
And they're used to it, so they're like, no, that's not gonna happen. Plus, they
Well,
probably
and if a
got,
guy does open the door, they're ready to smash those brakes as fast as they can and fly off that bike.
Dude,
You have to be ready.
You have to be, because you can't even stop that fast without, especially if you're on a sport bike,
Yeah.
you're going head over heels if you're going fast enough and you just mash
People
the fucking
do
brakes.
drive like that there. So you have to be ready. You're gonna go over those front wheels.
Yeah, dude. Dude, I've been, especially speaking of hitting doors and stuff, like, if you get into a car accident on a motorcycle, it's 9 times out of 10, it's like, you're close to game over. Like, depending on situations, but there's like miracle situations where you just get out of it or this, that, and the other. Like, my buddy, he's good. We're friends, okay? We're still friends. But no,
I like the way the story's going.
I know. He hit me with his car on my motorcycle. I swear we're still friends. This is my boy. But he found out he had sleep apnea because he fell asleep at the wheel. Dude, and I'm coming down, what the hell was this? Freaking, is Dort Highway and whatever other road goes through, Dort Highway and Saginaw, do those meet? Those cross?
Sounds about right.
Okay, whatever. Over there's like a BP over there. I stopped it was nighttime. He's following me home. And I stopped at the red light. He didn't. Took me the fuck out. And then I ended up getting a ticket.
And it was your friend, too.
Yeah,
They're like,
dude.
no, I know this guy.
It was crazy, man. And then, like, so he right before he hit me, he said, I woke up just before I hit you, tried to slam on my brakes going like 40. And so once I got back up, no scratch whatsoever. Like, I hit my head on the back of his car or whatever. I got back up, and I'm like, dude, what the fuck, man? And he's like, oh my God, I thought I killed you, dude. He was like freaking out. And then it was me. The cop was like, I've never seen this before, but me, the paramedic, him, and we were all like holding on. My bike got morphed into his engine. So my bike totaled his car, but my bike just had like some fender damage. So like we're like wiggling it out of the engine, and finally we get it out and it's on the ground. And so I got a ticket because my license was suspended. And so then my buddy had to drive my bike home because I couldn't drive it because the cop wouldn't let me. And then I had some friends like pick me up or whatever and went home. But dude, that was, oh my God, it was such a crazy fucking day. Or night, man. It was, yeah, no, that.
Wow. That's a story.
I've got hella stories on that motorcycle, man. It's major, bro.
I got a story about doors. I do.
What?
So you made me think of it. I haven't told this story in a while. When I was younger, probably like 3rd grade, maybe 4th grade, my mom's car door must have been open. And I was looking to the right, and I turned at just the wrong time, and boom! Just smashed into that car door. And that's how I know car doors are lethal, because I was bleeding from my head for like an hour.
Jeez.
And I had a gigantic bruise right on my head. And the next day I went to school.
Like a pedal bike?
No, I walked. I was walking.
What?
I was walking. Dude.
Wait, okay, run that story back again.
Like
Run this
4
story.
miles an hour.
The whole time you're saying it, I'm thinking pedal bike. Run this story back one more time.
No. My mom's car. The door is open. I just got out of the car or something. I don't know how this lines up, like how I walk into that spot. But it's like I'm not on the inner side of the door. I'm on the outside of the door, where the metal and the ceramic is, right?
Okay.
Whatever that outside shell is of the car.
The shell.
Yeah. And I smashed into that bitch. I was walking and I turned my head and I know it was like, it had to be my forehead that connected, because it was my forehead where the bruise was. So I just turned at the wrong time. And how I know the door is lethal is because there was nothing, like when you're about to smash into something, usually you like stop last second. But there was none of that. I just walked straight into the door.
That was on you.
I knew it was my fault. Yeah. And the next day I went to school, and it was like, I remember I was trying to cover up my forehead, and just the whole day that was my plan. I was going to cover up the bruise the whole day. I was walking holding my books with one hand and covering up the bruise on my forehead with the other hand, and eventually it just all failed. And then some teacher goes, "Oh my God, are you okay?" And they see my forehead. I didn't want to tell someone that I walked into a car door. That's why.
Right, you got to make up something more badass, like.
Little me didn't realize I could have lied. I just didn't I didn't think, oh, I should just lie about this.
Right, someone was mugging my mom, so I headbutted the shit out of him.
Yeah,
I just built like that.
And I'm just saying, man, you can hurt yourself. 3 miles an hour, you just hit the car door the right way. So if you're in a car accident, if you have a motorcycle, if you're on a motorcycle, a car hits you, yeah, I'm sure you could die really easy.
Oh yeah.
I'm positive.
Dude, I've seen crazy stuff too. Like people like just videos, obviously, not in like real life, but like they'll like get hit and they'll jump off of their motorcycle and like land onto the car that hit them. And it's like, how, dude, somebody was looking out for you. Like there's no way.
I've been looking out for cameras, like is this Mission Impossible 9? What's going on here?
Right? Like I need the footage on that, bro. Send it in. I'm a stunt person. Like, couldn't repeat that if I wanted to.
No, but maybe that's just the human spirit, man. Maybe it's the will to live.
The fight or flight right before when something happens. Like it's just you have that adrenaline to just think faster, process things faster. Dude, did you know? So like your eyes see like a certain frame per second, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So like when adrenaline pumps into you, that frames per second goes up, and that's why life seems like it slows down when you have that quick thinking that you can do when you.
Where'd you hear this?
This is an article that I seen. It's just an article that I seen online, and I was just looking into it, and like, yeah, so like it's the perception of the frames per second that you're seeing that are faster that you're not used to gives it that feeling that you are moving so quick. But everything's just moving the same speed. You're just processing things at a faster rate now. You're thinking faster. Your strength is, not necessarily, you're not necessarily stronger, but you have more will to freaking push yourself. That adrenaline is a hell of a thing.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah. There's a great quote, a Hunter S. Thompson quote, where I'm paraphrasing, but it's a car can go an extra 50 miles as long as the right music is playing. Like, so it doesn't matter if the tank is empty, as long as, I think I already fucked up the quote, but it's like a car can drive 50 extra miles on an empty tank as long as the right music's playing. I think it's more like that. But there you go. It's obviously not true. It's a metaphor. Yeah. But the idea is that with the right motivation, you can go the extra mile. And right. Also, the only problem I have with that theory is that we don't really know what time even is. So how could we define our perception of time?
Right,
how would we actually know? Like, time is actually a concept. Yeah. We don't know that time is real. We just are chalking things up to that because how else would you explain?
Time is our measurement it's just a measurement of us trying to make sense of something that we have no clue about,
It's speaking on that, too. One thing I always think about when it comes to perception of time is bull riders and how they have a really, really sharp perception of what 10 seconds is because when you're riding a bull.
Dude, yeah. But I think that's out of repetition,
Yeah, they're masters at it.
They have that feeling like, okay, this is 7 seconds. Okay, this is, like.
Well, what it is that those 7 to 8 to 9 to 10 seconds count so much that it's not just that they're so used to counting that.
They're so important.
They're so important.
So much focus.
Like, you're on the back of a fucking ball. Like, 1, 2.
I've always wanted to do that shit, dude. I wanted to try that out one time.
Yeah, well,
it's not something you just try out.
Yeah, dude. You could die the first time. Right. It's one of those things. Like, it's probably way more dangerous than skydiving.
I see, and that's also something I want to do. Like before,
that's why I mentioned it, because like if we're on the scale of those,
man,
I would totally skydive before I would go on the back of a bull.
So down in Novi, right?
Yeah,
they have this place called I Fly, and it's an indoor skydiving place.
I would do that today.
It is amazing.
Is it one of those things where it's like kind of like a zero gravity, like it's throwing you up in the air and you just
kind of
floating around?
So yeah, I mean same concept. So there's just a giant fan in the ground, and so depending on how much you weigh, they set like the intensity of the fan, like how fast it's going, and then. So like until you get good at it, like you'll have an instructor, but the instructor like shows you like the different forms that you like are required when you're skydiving, like how you can like carve through the air and everything. Dude, and like they show like the instructor goes in first before you even go in and shows like gets to show off a little bit and show what they can do. And the chick that was in there that was doing like for our class, dude, she went in there and just complete control of her body the whole time, dude. It was like, I want to do that. I'm gonna do. She's like, no, absolutely not. No flips, no nothing. Like apparently you have to take like 5-6 different classes before you. So like. If you did excel, she was like, okay, if you guys do get it, I'll let you do your, like, by yourself, your own turns, your own this and that. And so sure enough, we did, dude. It was major, bro. It was dope. It was dope. So I went and bought like 10 more flights.
Yeah. How much, do you remember the price of them?
So it's, if you did a class, so we did it through like the company I work for. And if you did one of those before you leave, if you buy like a certain amount of classes, you get like a discount. So it was like, I don't know, it was like $275 or something like that. I want to say it was somewhere around there for 10 flights.
Yeah.
And they're on, like, you can use them whenever. Like I could wait 10 years from now and still go back and use the 10 flights. So I still have the 10 flights. I just haven't gotten back out there.
Yeah.
But dude, it's awesome. It is so sick. And like, dude, yeah, like just the timing and everything, and like they have competitions and shit like that.
By the way, that'll probably sound better if you pull that microphone even closer to your face.
Shit, yo,
continue though, go for it. I don't mean to interrupt.
No, you're good. But they have like competitions and shit, and they're like it's all about control. And like I got out of there, and I'm not like the most fit person, but I hit the gym like consistently, and like I got out of there the next day, dude. My whole body was sore. Like you're sitting there trying to stiffen your body, but it's like. You're not, but you are trying to stiffen your body. It's like relax, but stiffen. And
relax, but stiffen.
There's so much confusion in there, but like, yeah, no, once you get it down, like it's such freedom, man.
Interesting.
Yeah. And so those classes, if you take those classes, they count towards going skydiving by yourself. Like you always have to have somebody, but if you take those classes, like you still have to do a certain amount of like real skydiving classes, but they count towards going out there and doing it yourself. So one of these days, man, I'm going to have a fucking GoPro and I'm going to jump out of a plane and it's going to be just freedom for however many minutes, dude. It's going to be sweet. It's going to be sweet.
A GoPro would be the way to do it. You could film a music video like that.
Yeah.
That's my first thought.
That's what I'm thinking too, man. I wish I had a bunch of GoPros, man. There's been so many ideas. So like segueing back, I guess me. So anybody who doesn't know who I am, I'm TJA. Been doing music for several years. I do like little breaks in between, but based out of Flint for a long time until I moved. But
you used to wear contacts, correct?
Yeah.
When I first met you, so I will say we met once before in my recollection.
Was it blackout contacts or white contacts?
I want to say white.
Okay, so there's like eras of contacts. I
didn't know this.
Yeah, I would switch it up.
I just remember the context stuck out. That was that, and I remember.
And that was the point.
Yes,
that they stuck out. It wasn't anything else other than there's some hidden meaning behind it, but
I liked them. I feel like it's just one of those things where it's not gimmicky. Like Hobson used to do the contacts. I don't think he does them anymore. But
bro,
same thing.
I got so much shit for wearing contacts all the time. And it's like, I think it was because I wasn't just like hardcore, I wasn't just hip hop. I wasn't just hardcore rap.
Yeah.
It was like, I'm singing a love song and I've got these creepy ass contacts.
It was the entire situation.
What the fuck? But yeah, no, like some of my friends would be like, dude, you got to drop the contacts. I'm like, fuck you. No, I'm not doing that. Or like, the thing behind the contacts was like, I would have different personas and like three, and it was this whole thing. I guess it's kind of still is a thing, but back then I was a little more hardcore about it. But like so my nickname's Toby. Everybody calls me Toby. My artist name is TJA. My real name's Anthony. So like these three different things. Anthony's just the normal like family type, the hey, loves, like my family relationship and people and just really, caring and all that shit. And then TJA loves his great Goose, super big partier, just very social, social as fuck. And then Toby is more of the person who's like, yo, we need to get to our fucking goals. We need to go hard. We need to, just focus. Like,
Bro.
I need to get to this.
Bro.
So those were those entities.
I see a direct parallel between Eminem, Slim Shady, and
Oh my
Marshall
God.
Mathers.
Dude, I never even thought about him.
Because think about it, he's got three different characters. Marshall's the family guy, Slim Shady's the party guy, and then Eminem is the business guy.
No fucking shit.
Your base, it's the same.
Dude. So on that note,
I'm glad that you never thought of it, because
Yeah.
that shows it's not, you're not ripping him.
No, it's because on that note, so like, there's so many hip hop artists or just so many musicians in general that I've had that conversation with. Not that, but like just explaining what it is. And they've been like, yo, like they completely understand, and then they give me their rendition, whether it's like 5 different personas or this, that, and the other. And it's like, it's like, how are we all on the same page about this? And then I thought about it and I was like, it's kind of like everyone's own personal angel and devil on their shoulder, it's like,
Yeah.
Cause like with me, with like TJA, Toby, and Anthony, it was more of a way of like organizing my thoughts, and it was more of like, those are thought processes, right? And the way I am created, like me, the body, how everybody sees me is how much I pick and choose one of those to be, seen. Like, okay, well, it's like 20% Anthony, 70% Toby right now, and 10%, TJ. But it's like different bits and pieces of how much I let one of those show. And it's almost like it's schizophrenia, but it's not. Like, I don't have schizophrenia, but
It's controlled schizophrenia.
yeah, it's like me going into my mind and sitting down with these 3 people and like, all right,
having a meeting.
Yeah. And so my first album I ever dropped was based off of that. It's called Meeting of the Minds.
Aha!
Yeah, my first album I ever dropped, and dude, I wasn't able to put a song that like pulled it all together. But yeah, Meeting of the Minds was 100% different me's giving each one of them 100% to do whatever they wanted,
Yeah.
and like, so Meeting of the Minds really was just a one big project of just explaining who I am. And, so in the best way to explain who I am is to give these 3 different personas and give them at their best or worst, whichever you'd like to see. But so like, there was a song I didn't have on there. It was What's My Name? And there's 3 different, What's My Name was it was verse, chorus, verse, chorus, verse, chorus, kind of like traditional put together. But there's 3 different verses, and each verse was Anthony, Toby, and TJA writing a letter to me, the body. Like, basically saying like, what the fuck is going on? Like, you aren't doing okay. Like, you are not doing okay. Why aren't you doing okay? And why have we not talked in a while, or this, that, and the other? So almost as if, like them writing to me concerned about the future of me.
Yeah.
And dude,
But it's you writing to yourself. That's the idea.
Yeah. It's me writing to myself, but from the perspective of each one of these.
Exactly.
And
well, it's a great way to conceptualize.
yeah.
it.
And honestly, I I want to say I just finished the song like a few months ago.
Yeah.
And it's been a while. Like that's been sitting in the bank for a while. But I just finished it and I can't wait to release it because it really gives like a perspective of just where I was. And like I still truly believe all three of those entities are like a part of me. But
well, you know what
I've got
occurred
a
to
hold on
me
them.
during this whole thing too is I think everybody, like, this has been a concept for a long time, this idea of three different entities, like id, ego, and superego, and this whole thing where it's like there's the part of you that's like a caveman, there's the part of you that's civilized, and then there's the part of you that's wise.
Right.
Like, there's three different versions of us.
Yeah.
And I that's very interesting.
And I didn't know how
I've never made
common
this
it
connection
was.
before in my brain. That it is kind of a thing that we all kind of have. And I think when artists, you'd have to have a more of a control of it than others because it's not like you're going through your everyday life and just doing casual things. It's like you're inserting your soul into art.
Yeah.
How do I insert the right parts of myself into this piece of art?
Right.
So that way I'm not giving away too much, like you were describing. Like there's so much reasoning that goes on when you're a creator and you're having those battles. It's not like how much do I say to this person? It's not like a everyday conversation,
right?
Like an everyday person would have. It's as an artist, how much do I reveal to an audience?
Right. This is something like I have to put extra thought into this because it's like, like you said, how much do I give you?
Yeah.
How much do I want you to know or understand? You know.
And in this song, who am I?
Yeah. What's my name? And that's what it. And honestly. So I'm mad that I didn't release it way back when because, at the time I was going through a lot of drama with just this, that, and the other. And I knew what I was capable of and I knew what I wasn't receiving, from like as in support and love, and a lot of people talk about, like, okay, well, what were you doing that people weren't giving the support? Were you staying active? Were you staying consistent? And at the time back then I was. And so, the chorus was like, what's my name in a city that doubts me? What's my name to a squad if they don't eat? And what's my name to these friends that I don't see, calling me two-faced and saying I'm not me? And that was the chorus. And it was just really questioning myself as the body. It was more of, I don't want to talk to you three entities. I want to figure out who I am, but I am nobody unless you guys are a part of, unless you guys are a part of me. So there is no separation. It's like we're all one, Yeah. So like, I don't know. It was my way of making it more mechanical, more logical than just mental, like it was like, I think it was too mental to get a grasp on back then as a young person. Our minds are going rampant and wild on, who am I? Where am I going? What's my passion? What truly is my passion? What's my sound? Even, just all these things. So like, I think it was my way of literally just getting a hold on, it was separated, divide and conquer, I guess you could say, like, okay, well, these personalities go with you, I can control you three. But altogether, like, it's just crazy. Like, my mind would go crazy, bro. And like, so that was back then. But I think now it's not so much. I don't do it so much anymore. And honestly, and that's what we were talking about is the context, and that's where the context came from.
Yeah, that is how we got on that.
We were just talking about this, about segueing back to the original story.
Yeah. But so let's keep it on topic.
Yeah.
Bring it all the way back around to how I first met you. That's why I brought it up. You had the contact.
We're out here, bro.
Look at us. We know what we're doing.
Teamwork.
Yep. So I remember it was one of my first shows I ever played. I know that for a fact.
Yeah, it was.
It was probably it was either the first or the second. And I remember I was standing outside and you were outside. And I remember I can't even remember what it was that you said, but you had this attitude you had this motivational attitude about you. I remember that stuck out to me. Like
Hell yeah.
you were giving me good advice. You were trying to be motivational. Because you don't see a whole lot of that. We were talking about that before we started recording, that you need to be out there motivating people in order for, like, people need to be out there doing that. That's the only way that it starts. Mm-hmm. So
I think I remember. Because I know a moment that I remember seeing you perform, and you were quite new, so it might be the same moment. But I remember talking to you.
That's probably what it was.
Yeah, I remember talking to you, and I think I said a couple things. I was like, I think your style of rap is over the people's heads of this venue. And then also the other thing was, I think you were doing your vocals live at the time. And dude, the one thing I know for like, well, at least back then, because they did not have a very good sound system, you have to at least have your vocals in there low or whatever, or even just a point where you can still overpower it and it sounds good. But so that people can still hear the glints, like a...
Yeah,
like
let me just say this right now, okay? No offense to anybody at a particular venue, but when I did my show at the Flint local, I set up a show there. The last time we did it, I was behind the sound thing, and there was a sound person next to me. And I had Kid helping me, KYDD, shout out Kid. And he was at that show as well.
Yeah. Kid,
Kid's pretty popular.
Yeah.
I imagine people know Kid. People know Kid. So I bring this up just because, Kid was right there too. He knows sound. That's why I bring him up, because he's also aware of good sound mixing. He knows how it should sound at a live show. So it's me and him, and we're next to these people, and we're like, hey, let's crank this up a little bit. This can be a little bit louder. And they're like not letting us turn it up. They weren't. And I imagine that's a lot of what's happening when, and I'm not even calling out this particular venue. I'm just saying that that's what happened when I set up a show at that venue. And it was kind of disappointing, because it was like, oh, that might be the source of this. And why would any sound engineer, like, if there is a reason we can't turn it up, tell us.
Right.
So that way we're not sitting here in the dark.
Communicate.
Yeah, communicate. Don't just stand there with your hands over it, like, don't touch.
Yeah.
Because now we have this weird communication going on.
100%.
If that's what it is, or maybe they're just not letting people, maybe they have their own thought process. Oh, we can't turn this up.
Right.
The people next door are going to say we can't be here anymore. Like some random reason that they won't tell us. It could be anything.
Yeah.
I know there's a million factors. I'm not trying to talk shit. It's just like, that's what happens. That's why sound design gets bad, because it's always something stupid where they think they can't do things. It's like, no, just turn the vocals up. Just turn the vocals up.
And like, and it's like, So I have a strong background in so I did a lot of technical theater, just stage I used to work at DTE and the Palace of Auburn Hills. So I did load-in shows and different things like that. I have extensive background in live audio.
And you've seen professionals do it right.
Yeah. And so it's I think that's a good thing to have as an artist, so that you can show some sort of appreciation towards the audio people. But then also, it sucks when you know what you're talking about and that audio person doesn't, and then you're like, what? I don't want to piss you off. You are the person doing my sound. I want us to have this good relationship, but what the fuck?
It's communication, though. That's usually the source of the issue. It's like they won't tell you exactly why they can't or won't do what you're saying we should do.
And that makes you think, it's like, are you not telling me because you don't know? Or are you not telling me because you know and you're frustrated and it's easier just to, hey, don't touch it. Which both are understandable, but still should be communicated, And at the local, they do, so on their side of things, they do have different things hey, once it gets to a certain time, they can't really pump it too loud. In that intimate space with the shape of how that room is, it's not really built for high quality audio. It's built for well, it's not really built for audio, but it
works.
Yeah, but it's always been used as crazy rock shows and things like that, which at a rock show, you don't necessarily have to be listening, fine-tuning, and it's just just so much, there's so much noise in one space that it's whatever, make my ears bleed, cool. And if you do, then it was awesome.
That was how that venue started.
Yeah, exactly. And that's and obviously I'm just, being very vague here, because that's not how every rock show is, whatever. But generally, they went out there, rock, right? They, the rock bands would come in, rock your socks off. People knew the songs, this, that, and the other. People were fans, and it wasn't a point of showcasing and really trying to listen to the words or listen to this, which most shows aren't really that. But that whole space isn't set up for that. So on top of political things like people around you, like spaces next to you getting mad because it's too loud. There's
a
so
million
many
things.
Yeah, there's so many feedback spots in that whole room. Even on the stage there's feedback spots. And like you can get rid of those with and there's dead spots, but you can get rid of those with like speaker placement and this, that, and the other, but there's limited speaker placement and like monitor placement and all this stuff. So you will have spots that will stick out where it's like, holy shit, there's extreme feedback, but and those are like maybe a 5-foot radius, and then there's other like big 10-foot radiuses where there's like dead spots, or there's sweet spots. There's all kinds of stuff.
But aren't there solutions to that? Like
there are, and it's placement.
You could treat the corners. You could treat all those corners.
You could,
and that would solve a lot of it.
And that's why things have improved there. Because didn't they put like up a few more like sound panels?
I'm not sure.
Because last time I was there, they had sound panels. They did take down the curtain in the back, which that was doing wonders for their sound absorption in the back. But
that's what these blankets do.
Yeah. And I think acoustically, they could solve a lot of those feedback problems and dead spot problems. With a little bit more, carpet or...
I just say that to say, like, there's always an answer.
Yeah.
Like, you can't... I hate when people or places just accept, like, oh, our sound's not as good as it could be.
That's what it is like... So those are all my things about, they do have a lot of things to worry about, but yes, there are solutions to these problems.
Yeah, like, just aim to fix it. Like, that's how everything should be. Like,
right.
Recognize that there's an issue and then fix it.
Yeah.
If somebody's complaining and it bothers you, that's probably because... there's something in you that's insecure about that.
Yeah.
Like, maybe you should fix it. So I don't know. Like, if we were saying all this shit and then they really think their sound's fine, they don't even care that we're saying all of this. Mm-hmm. That's how I would look at it. And if they know that we're right, they know that we're right, and they would fix it. Because why not?
Yeah, and
why would you not want the best venue?
Yeah, and it's like a starter venue, and they only they work with what they have.
Of
this,
course,
that, and the other.
but you know what? It did, like, growing up. It did, because it's one of the first. It's really one of the only places I performed so far in my life.
Shout out to the local, by the way.
I love the local.
We're not dogging.
No, I love it. I love it. But it did give me a false impression because it was built for rock vocals, like we're talking about, for rock bands. It's not built for the fine-tuned sound that the hip hop I listen to is, and so the music I perform. I can make it work there. I can make it work anywhere.
Right.
For the record.
Right.
But it's I've performed at places where my vocals are like super crisp, and it's a whole. It almost, because I started that way, I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
I gotta cool off a little bit.
Yeah.
I didn't even realize they could hear me that well until I hear it back in the recording. I'm like, they could hear everything.
Dude, you know what is a game changer for on stage? And I wish I knew it. I wish I known it.
I wish I knew this one sooner.
Known this. Is in-ear monitors, dude. So I bought some from Ultimate Ear. Got myself a receiver and everything. So any venue I go to, I plug right into the back. It's direct sound in my ear. So I don't need a monitor. There's no more feedback because I don't need a monitor. And you can hear exactly what you're singing, what's being
You hear the whole mix.
Yeah, you hear the whole mix. Or you can, or depending on what you plugged into, you can section it off so you only hear certain things.
Right.
But you hear the
you're just in the
whole
board.
mix.
You just plug it right into the board.
You plug it into whatever you want. And it's a channel, so you just send it out. And it is a huge game changer.
I was about to say, it sounds like a game changer. That's exactly what I was going to say.
It is. Like, night and day, dude. Like, because like sometimes in the past, and I've recognized that, like I've been like, oh, this doesn't sound right, or this doesn't sound right, but I'm standing on stage, I'm not in the back.
What people don't understand is, if you've never performed before, your perception of the sound is off because you're behind the speakers. Like, generally speaking, you're not even in front of them.
You can't hear shit.
You don't know what you sound like.
Unless you have a monitor, and even so, those monitors are much different quality than the huge speakers that are blasting out, these low ends and high ends, so strong. So you get a nice quality in-ear, which mine are, they're Ultimate Ear. I'm not sponsored by them. I wish I was, but they're
How
fucking
much
dope.
were they? Do you know? Like $300?
I paid $800.
But it's worth it.
Yeah. And that's not the receiver, but they're super worth it. They are custom fitted to your ear. They're not like earbuds that pop out and shit like that. They're custom fitted. They fit directly into your ear, and they don't pop out. Like they can, and you can set like the settings so that they're noise canceling or they're not noise canceling. So like sometimes on stage, it sucks because like I forget to turn off the noise canceling, and like people are like trying to say something to me from the front of the stage, and I'm like, I can't hear a fucking thing you're saying. Like, all I hear is music, yo. Like, this is it. Like, I'm sorry I can't, or I'll take an ear out sometimes, you know. But dude, they are a lifesaver, a game changer. You walk, and especially like if you're if you're hardcore performing and you're really trying to get your name out there, like venues talk about that shit. Like, you show up, you have your own mic, your wireless mic, you have your own, you know, in-ear wireless monitors, like just all that shit. It makes a difference. You show up and you're impressing people. That's what you try to do, you know. And
you're setting the example, like, of what you view yourself as.
Right,
like,
setting the standard, I guess.
Yeah,
you could say.
setting the standard of what you are. Yeah, because
Yeah.
they will see you as whatever you present yourself as. So if you walk in as that professional, that's what they will start to think of you as.
Yeah.
They'll talk about you like that. Like, yo, you see that motherfucker walk in with his own mic?
Got his own mic?
Yo.
We got corded mics? Where'd he get that from? Dude, and I can't tell you how many times, dude, I've done a show and like 12 other artists that are doing the show are like, yo, can we use your cordless mic?
You're like, no.
And I'm like, yo, it's nothing against you, but fuck no. Like, you know how much money I paid for this cordless mic? Like, I think they're like you get a decent one, it's like $300.
But still, like, that defeats the purpose of you bringing it. If you let everybody
like
use it.
It's specifically, specifically tuned for me. It's the brand that I want. I don't want any, other people spitting on it, this, that, and the other. I can get, I guess you could say, intimate, for lack of a better word, with your own mic, better. You're not, like, worried about anything, just different shit like that. Like,
I once had a guy who's my friend from childhood, and I brought my microphone over to his house just to record something, and I remember he asked me, can I borrow this microphone for a couple days? And I just, I was insulted that he even thought he could ask me that.
Right. Excuse me?
Yeah. Do you know what I do? What? You want my microphone?
Like, this isn't just a casual request. Like,
yeah.
Bro, like, what is you doing?
I just couldn't believe it. And that was the only microphone I had at the time, too. It wasn't like I had an alternative. So it was just
Right, that's the bread and butter right there. No.
So if anybody asked me that now, I know I'd say no immediately. If you asked me that right now before you left, yo, can I borrow your mic for it? No matter who you are, you could be the president.
No.
Fuck no.
Right.
Get your own.
It's just one of those things. It's like a toothbrush.
Yeah, it's mine. It's
just
mine.
Not the disgusting factor. It's just, it's mine. Yo,
yeah.
Like, it's like, I'm sorry. Like, and it truly is. It's not like I'm disgusted with you. It's I'm sorry, but
yeah.
No. No, you can't. No, man.
Just absolutely not. Like, I feel like it's just they don't recognize how valuable that item is in my, no, this is, unless they were another musician. I suppose if they were another musician and they were like, if you said that to me and then you offered to, pay me $300 for a day, then I would maybe think about it.
That's a
Because
different
then you're a
mindset.
musician and you're renting it or something.
And they
That's the
understand.
only way I would ever say yes to something like that. Because now that I'm thinking about it, I could understand it if it was that situation, but anybody else.
Yeah.
There's no casual renting out my fucking equipment.
No.
Hell no. 'Cause this stuff is my life.
Dude, and it's crazy to think about too. It's like, I remember back when I didn't have much money to rent stuff and I didn't have much money to buy stuff, and this, that, and the other, and I was just so I don't know, thrown back or appalled of if I asked somebody for something and they're like, okay, well, if you pay me this much, yeah, you can rent it and do this, that, and the other. I'm like, are you serious? But dude, now that I've gotten older and been through so much bullshit and just so much shit, it's people don't understand, and this goes for anybody who's watching this, if you're young right now, even if you love doing stuff for people, which I really do, but it gets to a point where people, unless they're invested in some sort of way, they're not going to take care of something with pride and care, and just actually take care of it, unless there's some sort of way invested. It doesn't mean necessarily money, but some sort of way invested, they won't give a shit.
Look at it this way, people, okay? All right, there's someone out there with a life that's not yours, and you don't give a fuck what happens in their life. They could tell, I was thinking about this, okay, if someone told you their mom died, You can't even imagine that.
like, oh,
you
damn.
don't even know what that is. But
sucks.
if your mom died, you can't.
You're devastated.
It's all you. It's
get
your
it.
entire life. You get it because it's your life.
Right.
You can't even imagine. And all that to say, like, you can't give as much of a shit as you think you can about everybody else's lives because we all have our own. Like, we can only put so much weight into these things.
Unless you're invested.
And you're invested in your own life. That's why I say that, and I give it that extreme example, because we all know if something extreme happens in our own life, we experience that on a personal level more so than anybody else. But that goes for everything else too.
Yeah, and that on that note too, that's why whenever I work, like and I can't find anybody who, will work with, or not will work with me, but who fits the standard that I'm looking for. But like, I no longer, like, if I'm looking for, like, I've put out, little, statuses like, hey, I'm looking for a band, or hey, I'm looking for a secretary, hey, I'm looking for a manager, hey, I'm looking for just somebody to organize this for the weekend, hey, I'm looking for somebody to do this for this time period. I realized after a while that I never ever take help for free. Like, if somebody's like, oh, no, you don't got to pay me, I'll just do it for free. Absolutely fucking not. What do you want? Or I'll start offering up things like, I will give you this. Is this something that you might want? Or is this valuable to you? Because I will give you this. This is tit for tat. Because if you don't do what you do, there has to be something that you're not receiving, because if it's free, it's just like, oh, well, it's free anyways, whatever, I won't meet the deadline, I won't do this for you, and then, I'm counting on you, and if you don't do what I asked you to do, that you said you were going to do for free, I'm fucked. So I'll never, ever, ever, if somebody says, oh, no, I got you, I'll do it for free, I'll go promote for you for free, absolutely not. What do you want that I can give you? Even if it's small, I don't care, because then, it's a bad way. It holds them accountable, I guess you could say. Then it's like, yo, I gave you this, and it gives them. I feel like if I was on that end and somebody gave me something to do something, I would be feeling like, oh shit, I do have to do it because, like, he gave me this. Like, I do it. It's that extra push, that extra, like, slight motivation in order to do it. But dude, I never, ever, ever accept anybody's work for free now. I'm like, I won't. You need something for this. You are, and it's almost like just valuing yourself, Like, I had a person managing me for a little while. I told him I just needed it for a little bit of while, like, start covering this, that, and the other. And I was like, I was like, I'll pay you. He's like, no, I'll do it for free. I'm like, absolutely not. I was like, look, I'll tell you what, I'll get you tickets to all kinds of music shows that I go to, that I'm, networking at. I'll pay for all the tickets. I'll do, this, that, and the other. And then on top of that, we'll, like, split drinks for the night every single time. So not only are you getting half off your drinks every time you go out and network with me, you're also getting your tickets paid for, you're seeing a free show, and if you bring somebody out, you might be able to pay for their ticket because you're not even paying for your ticket, like, different things like that. So it's beneficial towards the person helping you, because they're not going to be invested unless they're receiving something, and it's hard for people to motivate themselves if it's just out of the kindness of their heart, which is just reality, man. It's life. Like, a lot of people can, but after a while it gets tiring, and you might give up. You might say, oh, well, not today, or I'm just not feeling it today. And then your brain tells you, yeah, you're right, I'm not feeling it today. So I never take extra work for free. Never. I'm like, I got to give you something extra.
I get 2 quotes out of this. So First one is, you can't invest yourself unless you're invested in. It's a good one.
Yeah.
I'll take that one.
Yeah.
Or the second one, I like this one more. No reward, no risk. Right? Because there's no risk without the reward.
It's a big one, yeah. That one I've heard. But that one's true. It's
kind
so
of a
true.
flip, because usually you hear no risk, no reward.
Right.
It's a flip.
Right.
Because without the reward, there's no risk.
Exactly.
Without presenting that reward, there's no risk to them not showing up. Mm-hmm. There's nothing that they're losing. And adding that reward in provides the risk.
And that's what it is.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is. That's a good, glad you thought of it, bro.
I bottled it up to 4 words.
Hell yeah. No, and that's what it is. Like, I've had so many experiences where it's like, hey man, could you do this? Yeah. What can I give you for it? And they're like, no, I can do it for free. And I'm like, okay. And then you know, like if it's a 5-month thing, you know, 2 months into it, I'm like, hey, you know, I'm not to harp on you because you're doing it for free, but like, are you like, where's the, you know, where's the results, or, you know, this, that, and the other? Are you doing this? Yeah, no, I'm sorry, man. I'm super sorry, but I just can't. It's just a lot. And it's like, okay, I'm sorry, it was a lot, but like on my end of things, like this isn't just it's a lot, sorry, it's done. No, this was, I needed you, you know, like I needed you to do this. And so like, you know, I found out after a few times of meeting that demise.
So you see a whole lot of that with these podcasts, because I mean, honestly, it's probably about, I would say 60% success when it comes to people actually following through. And a lot of the time it's like last minute or after the time it was scheduled for.
Really?
And it's what you just said. I mean, to me, they're not recognizing the value of it. And that's the frustrating part.
They don't see it.
Because
Yeah.
the value of it's the fact that I'm even providing it.
Yeah.
There's nothing else I have to offer you. You're showing up and getting this kick-ass piece of content that you can grab fucking 30 clips out of this. I don't give a shit. You're
Right.
advertising for me at that point. It works for both of us.
For free.
Yeah, like I don't see why somebody would flake on that type of thing.
Yeah.
Unless they don't take it seriously and they don't see it as the opportunity that it is.
Either that or pride.
Yeah, and
know?
it's just like whatever. I'm not even prideful about it myself. Like I don't care. It is what it is.
Like this is
it's
what
just
I do.
something
Like,
I
if you don't want to be here. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like I just wish people would take it seriously, because it is cool. Like it's cool that we get to do this. So if we schedule it, don't tell me last minute you're not going to be here. Like don't, because that makes it so I can't schedule a different one with someone else.
Right.
I've locked you in.
Yep.
And now you're not here, and I'm holding the ball while you're not here. And what you're saying is all true. I can't provide more value with the podcast. It's like you either show up or you don't. And people just don't take it as serious as other things.
They should
and I think
see the
it's also they don't
value.
take themselves as seriously.
That's
it's both things.
Yeah, I would say that too.
It's a lot of that.
Because like if you're taking something seriously as an artist, you'd realize like obviously there are times if you meet somebody or you know somebody or this, that, and the other, and you're like, that podcast doesn't take it seriously. You know, it's like, it's not worth my time, you know? But like when you see somebody, so like you hit me up immediately after I seen that out, like, dude, I was excited. As soon as you hit me up and you're like, hey man, I'm like, this motherfucker hit me up. Like, I'm like, yeah, I'm coming out, bro. Like, what do you mean? Like, let's set this shit up, bro. Like,
that's the correct reaction.
Yeah, like, what do you mean? Like, yeah, I'm coming out. Like, what do you, like, yeah, before you go to Chicago, I was excited you were going to Chicago. I was like, as soon as you said that, I'm like, fuck yeah, and fuck yeah. Like,
yeah.
What do you mean?
Triple fuck
and
yeah.
And then it was your birthday, too. What did I say I was doing that weekend? I was like, I was somewhere.
I was in Chicago. I got your birthday wish while I was walking through the streets.
Oh yeah, dude! Yeah. I saw like the little cake that you posted and shit. Like
dude,
was that badass or what?
Dude, so okay, I walked into a Mexican restaurant on my birthday in Chicago. Right, I was in Logan Square. It was right in. If you're familiar with the Chicago area, it was in Logan Square. Like the square is a little town area, like a town square type deal.
Okay.
And the Mexican food place is right there in the town square. So if you're familiar with that area, you know where that is. So I was inside of that Mexican restaurant, and I was sitting down by myself, and I just ordered my giant burrito and eat my delicious complimentary chips and salsa. Probably my favorite part of the whole Mexican restaurant experience is that chips and salsa. Whew, I love that part.
You know if the food's gonna be good by the salsa as soon, and the chips actually. Like it's always the chips and salsa. You know.
Yes. That's an astute observation, my friend.
You know, bro. You know.
You're right. But I'm sitting there, and over by the window in front of me, there's a family of about 6 people, and I see the entire staff walk over to them and sing happy birthday in Spanish. You know, Feliz cumpleaños a ti. You know, they do the whole thing.
Yeah.
And it's on my birthday, right?
Tell me they sang for you, bro.
It's on my birthday, right? So I watch this. And I go, man, I'm by myself here. Like, yeah, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it.
I'm going to do it. Excuse me.
Honestly, I wasn't even nervous. See, I know a lot of people would be thinking, I'm not going to tell him it's my birthday. That sounds embarrassing. No. I was excited to tell them it was my birthday.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
want them to sing to me.
Hey,
Yeah.
it's mine too.
I did.
Give me one of those.
When they were on their way back from singing Happy Birthday, I thought about doing that. I legitimately was about to just reach out and be like, hey,
That'd be so
just
funny.
to let you know. I almost did that.
Yes.
But I had the restraint to at least wait for my waitress to come back. Yeah. Give me one of those.
Woosah. Let me get one of those.
Yo, while y'all are still together.
You get up, you're just standing next to him. I don't even notice it. You sing it. Feliz cumpleaños. You know?
Feliz cumpleaños.
You stand
They
right.
had the shakers too.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, yeah,
Did they
yeah.
have like a dance too? Did they have
Oh,
people
that'd
get
be
up?
great. But no, they didn't. They didn't have a dancer. A belly dancer would
That's
do
what's
it.
up.
That'd be
That's
the
what's
cherry on top.
Yeah,
belly
right.
dancer. Literally, the belly dancer's only there for birthdays.
Yeah, that's all she's getting paid for.
Yeah.
She's just chilling in the back on her phone. She's like, hey, you're up. All right.
You get a lot of those in the city, a lot of birthdays. So yeah, she. I was about to mention the belly dance. Yeah, she was belly dancing. It was great.
it was super awesome.
But yeah,
Cool.
so she comes back up, my waitress, and I tell her it's my birthday. I video chatted my dad. And dude, this is the type of guy my dad is. I'm glad that I can tell this story so people can understand this. So I'm excited. I'm thinking, you know what? I'm gonna tell these people it's my birthday. They're gonna sing me happy birthday. But
Yeah.
it's not right. I ought to get a witness. And my dad just figured out.
So somebody knows.
Well, just like, a family member to see this, because
Yeah.
otherwise it's just me getting sang to
Right.
around all this restaurant full of strangers. Like, let's make this something I could share with someone that would understand it,
Someone
right?
can take it into.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
Make this make sense. So I go to video chat my dad because he just figured out Facebook video chats, and he video chats me, and he's like a little kid that just started using a phone. There's no reason for them to be video chatting you. They're not even looking at the phone anymore. They sat their phone down 5 minutes ago, but they have to have you ask them, hey, can we turn video chat off? And they go, what? No, what? They're not using it the way you're supposed to use video chat.
Yeah.
That's how my dad is now,
Oh,
because he
God.
just figured it out. So I call him and I say, hey, so I think I'm about to ask these guys to sing me happy birthday. And he goes, okay. And I'm like, all right, well, I thought it'd be a fun thing, for
get
them
it
to sing
going.
me happy birthday. I'm going to, I figured you should witness this. I'm like, and he's like, all right. So, okay. Like, he's confused. So I said, okay, I just thought I thought you'd think that's a fun idea. And he's like, well, what do you want me to do? Jump up and down because you're going to tell them it's your birthday? And I'm like, all right, I'm going to call
Yes.
you back later. You're ruining this. You're ruining it. And I
Right.
hung up. I was just like, I can't talk to you right
Vibes
now.
are off.
He
And
ruined the vibe because I was sitting there. I just saw them sing happy birthday. I'm like, you know what?
You're like
and then
Superman position, like, I'm going to call my dad. Hold on, before you...
This is how calls go with my dad. This is the type of dad he is. I'll get excited. I'll be pumped. I'll call him, and he'll just take the wind out of my sails immediately. Be like, you're going to do what? I don't care. Go ahead. And he doesn't give me any input about it either. Like, I expected that call to be, hey, I'm going to do this. Oh, okay. Sounds fun, son. Let's do it. No, nothing. I got nothing. Radio silence.
Oh, man.
So I just hung up. He calls me back, and then, like, so the waitress came back before I called him back, and I got the vibe that she wasn't going to bring everybody out for me. So I just am talking to him casually, and then, like, all of a sudden she walks back up with this cake, and the whole staff's right there.
Yes! Yes, dude. Yes.
And one thing I've learned with happy birthday is, like, where are you supposed to look when that's going on? Like, you just kind of have to look back and forth to everybody
like-
singing to you and just smile, right?
The dynamic of being alone and then having so many people that you don't know. So it's like, yeah, you can't just look at one of them. It's like,
Dude, I asked for it. I asked for it. How do you properly respond? I wanted it. So I'm just sitting there smiling, like a big smile on my face, like, yeah, sing to me, sing to me. Well, the lady dropped one of the shakers. It was funny. She was like shaking them, and then she dropped it, which made it even better. And then as they were walking away, they were all saying happy birthday to me, and I remember I said happy birthday to one of them back.
oh yeah, you too.
I did that.
Happy birthday, you too.
And it's like, I'm not even that guy that does that all the time. It's just like, it was, maybe I was a little nervous. Maybe it just, something was running high inside of me. I said happy birthday. Maybe it was her birthday. There's like a 1 in 52 chance or something, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
1 in 52 chance.
Yeah.
Yeah, right, dude. That's crazy.
It was a good time. I'm glad that I asked them to sing me happy birthday. And I'm glad you knew where that story was
I've
going.
gotta try that sometime.
Dude, it's unforgettable. And especially because I was like out on the town on my birthday. So it just
Yeah.
felt like the right time to just,
Yeah.
what? And she didn't ask for my ID either. So just for the record.
What's the name of that place?
Yeah, I told you exactly where it was. Just rewind the podcast.
We'll go back. Yeah.
Anybody who wants to get a free birthday cake, I think I might know the way.
Dude, I don't think I would be able to do that.
Oh, and they wrote on the birthday cake a happy birthday and like some kind of red
Chocolate
sauce
or something? Yeah, some
yeah.
red
That's
sauce,
why you saw that.
Yeah, I saw the picture, dude.
You saw it, and that's why this whole thing came up.
Good.
So yeah,
It looked good.
it was. I was fairly impressed by the birthday cake.
I'm like so social. I feel like my friends would be like, they'd be like, "Hey, what are you doing tonight?" Before we all go out, I'm gonna hit a restaurant and just
Tell them it's my birthday.
have a solo birthday. Just get a bunch of people sing for me.
Yeah, listen.
What?
I know it's not my birthday, but I just need to. I need to release some tension.
I just need to go out. That idea. I'm doing that today. I'm going somewhere. It's my birthday today.
If they ask for your ID, just say you don't have it.
Yeah,
That's the thing.
I
Make
don't
sure your
have
ID's not like wherever you normally keep it. Move it to like your pants pocket or something.
Like
this is all theoretical, guys.
shit.
I'm not telling you to do this. Okay,
If you
this is all
need a
theoretical.
confidence boost
Yeah.
of complete strangers singing to you, this is the plan, okay?
And if they say no, they say no. Like if they ask for your ID and I don't have it,
Yeah,
you're
right,
fine.
right.
Nothing happens.
Because sometimes they do that because they're like, well, we do give out free. Just tell them, hey, I don't want anything for free. I just would like everyone to come out. You're alone. I just would like everyone to come out and sing to me.
Listen, I don't want anything for free. I just want the entire staff to come out to this table.
They come out with a therapist. It's like, no, it's not. It's not like that, man. Okay, I'm good.
Just sing to me, damn it.
Just sing to me.
All right, I gotta pee. Pause for 1 second. And we're back.
we're
What's
back.
up? And we're back, folks. Welcome back to Ruse Radio.
77. Oh,
Episode
77.
77. It's like an advertisement. Welcome to episode 77.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh man, no, man, I gotta do that sometime. That'd be awesome. I'm too social to do that though. Like,
Too social to do what?
well, not too social to do it, but too social as in like, my friends will be like, "Yo, bro, are you okay? Like, what's wrong? Like, yeah, I'm okay. I just want to.
Oh, the birthday. We're back on it.
Yeah,
we went right back into it.
Well, yeah, no, like,
yes. No, man.
My friends
just
would like
do it.
be concerned.
Do it with your friends. That's even better.
Yeah,
Be like,
yeah, that's
guys,
true.
check out what I'm about to do.
Yeah.
Because that makes them less likely to not believe it's your birthday. They're not even asking that. They see 4 people with you.
Right.
They're not going to think you're lying.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're all looking like, yeah, it's his birthday.
Dude,
yeah.
even if it was like on my birthday, dude, I guarantee my friends would be like, "No, you're not going alone. Absolutely not." Like, there's too often that
They would think that there's something wrong.
Yeah, I'm so animated that the moment that I'm not like 100% reacting to something, or when people talk, or just like if I'm just mellow, people are like, dude, are you okay, man? You want to talk about it? I'm like, dude, I'm fine. I'm kind of tired today. Like, what? But like, I'm full on like every inch of something that somebody says, or this, that, and the other. I'm super animated, or like the way I say something, or laugh at something, or just if I'm mad at something, dude, it's on my sleeve, bro. It's easy to tell. Like, but then the moment that I'm just having like a, people, dude, are you okay? Are you sure? Are you positive? I'm like, yeah, no, I'm good.
I know what
I'm
you're
good.
talking about because I experienced the same thing because I'm how I am
Yeah.
here. I mean, I'll be like talking to somebody and it's just like, it's not even anything. Maybe I just didn't get much sleep that night before.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I'm just chill that day. Maybe it's nothing. And they'll be like,
I'm
"Are
not
you
on
sure?
time today."
Are you sure you're good? Are you sure?" Yes, but the fact that you're asking me,
Everybody has that. Are you mad? No, I'm not mad, but you ask one more time, I'm going to be mad. I'm getting there.
they're creating it,
Right,
man. Like,
right.
I'm not. I'm fine. I am fine. Are you?
Yeah, dude. And like with the personas that we were talking about earlier, so the TJA, the partier, this, that, and the other shines a lot. He's typically on 50% all the time, 50% or more all the time, and it's a crazy thing. It's fun. It's fun.
I don't know. I've never been one for parties. I'm kind of like I've noticed that maybe I'm just like autistic in that way. Like you throw me on a stage and I'll shine, but I gotta be like doing my thing. Like if I'm in a group setting, I just kind of blend into the background really well.
Oh, dude, I dive in. I dive right in.
I just that's not my personality type. I feel like it's weird. Like I just don't know how to do it. I don't know how to guide the group. I just kind of let the group do what it does.
Dude, a funny instance, and this is like it perfectly just like is a great example of like what I do every time I go anywhere, really. But like, so this was a while back. We went to State for Halloween, and we were at State. We were walking around the whole campus and everything, the whole city, and just finding parties and this, that, and the other. We find a party, we go in. And so the moment we walk in, I disappear through the crowd. The rest of my friends, are like
alpha move,
slowly working through. But by the time, so there's beer pong in the back, right? And there's people playing. There's a whole list of people playing and shit. And by the time, which is like 2 minutes, but by the time they all got back to the beer pong table where I was, they walked into the room like, I'm like, yo, that's George, that's Sam, she's up next, she's actually pretty cool. They think they can beat them, and they're like, yo, he actually goes here, and he's this major, and this, that, and the other. Dude, I've learned everyone's names. I know everyone. I know, like, it's just, like, I like getting to know people, especially if they're open to just being social, So the moment I got back there, I'm just like, yo, what's up? What's up? Let's drink. Let's do this. Let's that, yada, yada, yada. They got back there. I'm introducing my friends to everybody I just met. And then we get on the table, which we had a pretty good night. It's nothing like a good night where you're super social. Everything's going great. Then you play beer pong and you win like 11 rounds in a row to strangers that could possibly, like beat you in the game because you don't know how good they are. But me and my buddy, we ended up playing for like 10 rounds, 10 or 11 rounds. We ended up quitting. And I think and we quit because the very last round we were playing, he's like, so we're standing obviously, but he is like this. Like, and we're like, the table was here. We had this much room, and like our backs are on the back wall. So like he's using the wall to keep him up. And every time I see him like start to like lean, I'm like, no, we still got this whole game to go, bro. We can't lose this game. Dude, him still just belligerent, just on the verge of blacking out, or if not already blacked out, just running on autopilot, sinking him. Just the whole time, bro. And I'm like,
give that man the keys.
Yes, bro. It was so good. And so we ended up playing. We finished out that game, and I was like, yo, we're done. And I'm like, yo, what's up, Sam? You the man. Met a bunch of other people. All the people we beat, obviously, we were good friends with. I have a like strict rule whenever I'm playing beer pong. I'm like, once I get done, whether I win or lose, you go shake the other person's hand, look them in their eye, and just say, hey, good game, good fucking game. Unless they like, whoop your ass, like completely, and then you just run and you never speak to them again.
Does that happen in beer pong?
It happened to me one time. I have to admit, I can't. Okay, his name's Adam. Okay, Adam, you will appreciate me because I saying it and calling this out. I'm not opposed to saying when I lose. Whatever, it's me. Because I'm pretty good at beer pong, but Adam. And I don't know who your partner was, Adam, but whenever you see this video, make sure you comment who is your partner. But it was Adam and whoever, and then me and that same dude I was talking about, my boy Pat. What up, Pat? Pat Northern boy. So we were playing in Pat's basement. We always do. It was like a weekly thing, like it was our thing. Me and Pat are freaking awesome, or Colin was pretty awesome too. Like there's a few people that were
like, you had a whole rhythm.
Yeah. And so
it's like when like you and 5 friends walk in the casino and you own that bitch.
Yeah, that's exactly it, bro. And it's like it was a common thing, like Pat and Anthony won. Okay, cool. Cool, whatever, and move on. It's not something spectacular. Dude, Adam and whoever that day, I don't know what was about that day, dude. We played for a little while. We won a couple games, and then Adam played me one-on-one, and he whitewashed me. I mean, I didn't make a single fucking cup. Beat my ass. And there was a bet on the game that every party we would go to from that moment on, I would announce the moment I walk in the door, Adam's better than me at beer pong, and I had to say that. So that went on for, I want to say, at least a year and a half. Bro, that devastated me. For the next like year and a half, I was just like not good. It was just terrible. Dude, I couldn't beat anybody. I couldn't make cups. I couldn't do anything. Dude, it was such an internal battle that I lost so bad and have this fucking bet now that I have to honor. And then, dude, matter of fact, it had to be longer. Adam, you could tell us in the comments, man. But it ended up being, I versed him years later, bet him the same thing, and ended up winning and got my mojo back. But like,
Did he have to start announcing that when he walked in?
Yes, he did. We haven't been to a party since, but dude, I'm inviting you to a party right now. I don't care. We're going to start a party just so you can fucking say that, asshole.
Asshole. You ruined my life for a year.
That's my boy, dude. That's my boy. But yeah, no,
it literally drained all of your pride.
It did. It was like Space Jam, dude. Like, he said he made the bet, and as soon as I lost, it sucked all my talent out of me, and he absorbed all the talent. I was just like, oh my God.
How'd you get it back? What happened?
I had to touch the same ping pong ball.
Yeah.
No, I just ended up beating him. I was like, one day he was like, "You're not gonna beat me." And it just came down to it, dude. I made the same bet and I fucking won. Maybe it's that bet. I'm gonna start betting that with people and see. Well, no, I'm not because I don't want to lose my mojo.
How many people can you announce in one room too? If you lost that bet 5 times, it's like you got a laundry list.
Yeah.
You walk in, George, Ethan, Mark, and Eric are all better at me than ping pong.
Right? You just have to carry around a list in your wallet or like pocket every party, just like, all right, guys.
Oh, that's the word I was looking for. It emasculated you.
Yes,
that sounds like an emasculating scenario.
It did.
Because like it literally did.
That was
year
like,
and a half. That's a long time.
Dude, it was my thing. And it just like everywhere we go, I have to say this, that, and the other. Then people are asking. I have to tell people, yeah, well, we played each other and I didn't make one cup.
It's just,
not one.
There's no good way to spin it.
Not one fucking cup, man. Dude, it was so terrible.
As you say it right there, I can hear the pain.
Oh, man, it hurt, dude. It was a year
Sounds
and
like
a
it
half.
still hurts.
It does, man. It was a year and a half. It was the dark ages for my life. Yeah, it was the dark ages.
But I couldn't take it away. It makes me who I am today.
Dude,
without losing that game.
Without losing that game, I wouldn't be a badass like I am now.
Beer pong is a sport.
Dude,
Beer pong is a sport no matter what anybody says.
It is.
Especially because you get more drunk the more you lose.
And you have to fight it.
What other sport is like that?
Yeah.
What other sport has that challenge tied to it?
So great. And so there's more challenge as you win. As you continue to play, you have more and more challenge. And it's just, oh, man.
Like this guy's played 6 games. We can kick his ass. I saw him take like fucking 7 drinks already. He's done.
Dude, I'm telling you, man. With 10 drinks per game, and most of my drinks used to be really strong. I mean, not that they're not. I just don't have drinks anymore. I just have a bottle.
I always assumed it was beer, though, right? Is it not typically played with beer?
So no one ever plays like beer in the cups anymore.
Oh.
Unless you're having.
We're talking beer pong 2023 now.
Yeah, yeah. Like you play beer in the cup. Everybody always calls it gross, but I mean, like, I'll play it. I don't care.
That's how it started.
Yeah, but that is how it started. And like, no one knows about so like, they're like, yeah, you got 20 cups, we can set up beer pong. And I'm like, you mean 22 cups? And they're like, what? And I'm like, because you always have your dip cup. Because the ball hits the ground, you dip it in your dip cup, clean it off, so that the ball can continue to go in the beer and not get it like fucking dirty as shit, you know? And that's the only reason why you don't play with like beer in the cups nowadays. Because like, ball goes off somewhere covered in just shit, and then you put it in the
Folks, this is how you can tell a professional from an amateur.
Oh yeah,
when it comes to this sport, because he knows this. An amateur would not know this.
Or like every time
they would drink the dirt.
I did one time because I was trying to impress a fraternity brother. Didn't end up well, dude. It was bad. It was bad. But no, like a lot of times, like anywhere I go, whenever I'm playing beer pong, I started out shaking hands and asking, hey, what are the rules? Like, you know, like at least when we're starting out. After that, I just demand what the casual rules for the house rules are. But like, I'll start out and be like, pull ball, pull cup. Are we doing heating up, this, that, and the other? Like, I've got a plethora of rules that normally how the game is played. Matter of fact, I threw a competition, or tried to throw a competition. We canceled it. But But I looked up, like, they have, like, the official beer pong rules and everything. Like, I know it front and back. I know, like, what to ask, when to ask, what's the normal shit, what's not the normal shit, you know? And, like, dude, beer pong is such a big part of my life. I don't play, like, all the time, but it is such a big part. And, like, shout out to Post Malone because, dude, did you see, like, his celebrity beer pong?
No.
Like, he's an avid beer pong player, and he had a whole series of like Machine Gun Kelly was on there, and I forget a whole bunch of other artists did, but tons of like big stars that would be playing beer pong against him and like playing with each other. Dude, it was awesome. I wish I could have been on that. That would have been my dream, bro. It's so great. Beer pong's the shit.
Now that's a concept there.
Yeah.
Huh.
I need to throw
It's like Hot Ones, but with beer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because it's an interview kind of too.
You know
like,
what,
there is a chill session.
Dude, if you weren't going to Chicago, but you don't drink though. But I was like, you know what?
Well, I am.
Yeah. But I mean, you know.
Well, actually, we're drinking fake alcohol in these.
This is
not real.
Yeah. This is all water. Cheers.
Comedy podcast, and this is all a bit.
Yeah. This is all.
Now that's some spicy water.
That's why I'm not like chugging it. There was one time. There's a bunch of people who thought they're like, "Holy shit, you can really drink Grey Goose," and I had to tell them, I was like, "Yo, it was water. It was all water." But this one just got opened and fresh bought here, guys. Okay, like this is my
it was hard to get the water in there so quickly before the podcast. Yeah, is what he's saying.
But it looks good though.
Yeah, it looks pretty legit.
Other than the bubbles.
Yeah.
We were talking about that, before the podcast, dude. Like people's like drug of choice, drug of choice, and drinking or smoking. That whole, like I am telling you, I can't function and be social if I smoke and just smoke with people. It's over. I can't even think, or like it's not me. This would have been me the whole podcast. Yeah. Dude, I'm telling you, man, I would have been KO'd, bro.
He becomes a vegetable.
Yeah, I do.
So that's interesting because we were talking about that beforehand. I mean, everybody's got their drug of choice, I suppose. Yeah. You messaged me and just asked if there was anything I might want for you to pick up from the store. We'll just leave it at that. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, okay, interesting, but no, I'm good, man. And
I was gonna get you your own bottle if you said you wanted. We're gonna have both pints, bro.
Which, I mean, boom, party favorites, right? But yeah, it's just double bottles.
Chink.
Chink. That would have been a great cheers right there.
This was sponsored by Grey Goose.
It would. Commercial vibes for sure. Yeah. Like people watching, like,
they would hit you up. Ruse Radio now sponsored by Grey Goose.
I'll take it.
I'd be so pissed. But not me.
It's because, folks, he mentioned before we started, this is all in his efforts to... Grey Goose, if you see this man, he's trying, all right?
Yeah.
He's trying.
Hard.
Dude,
you know how many Grey Goose bottles I have? I have all the, like, Grey Goose paraphernalia at home. Like, at Christmas time, they have those like where they have the fancy cups or the martini glasses I have all of that shit, bro. I have all of it.
Yeah.
Send me a sponsorship, goddamn it.
Please. This guy's got a shrine of you at home.
Dude,
just do it.
I do. It's crazy.
But with weed and alcohol, like I even said to somebody just the other day that I think people should look at weed more like alcohol, where it is a substance, and when you do it, you are under the influence. Yeah. A lot of people look at it this very casual way, when, as you just described, you're a whole different person when you're too high, or when you smoke, even if when you smoke a little bit. And a lot of people just don't, especially people who smoke constantly, they don't even recognize it or see it that way. Right, they don't understand that they're in a different state. Like, you're not sober, you're high.
Right, you're
it's
not
definitely
you.
Different.
There's a reason why you're smoking so much.
Yeah.
Like, you're not you.
I mean, like, and like I say, everybody's got a drug of choice.
Everybody
like
does.
We say.
Absolutely.
I mean, I would never take anything away from anybody for whatever they choose to do. It's just like, recognize that you're choosing it.
Yeah,
right? Like, it's
absolutely.
different. It's not just if you woke up and did nothing. Even caffeine. Like, I think a lot of people discount caffeine and don't realize.
Caffeine is,
I'm going to buy a Coke. Like, you don't even think about the fact that you're ingesting a bunch of sugar and caffeine and the drug that you're consuming when
you're so
doing
jittery, too. I hardly drink caffeine. Like, in general, I hardly drink, like, pop. Honestly, it's either liquor or water.
Yeah.
That's all I drink, man. And that's it. But yeah, like caffeine too, man. You get to, like, if I have a Red Bull, like if I need a Red Bull, I'll drink a Red Bull because it fucking works. So I don't drink it that often, so it actually reacts pretty well with me. Like I'm like, yeah, I've got some energy.
Never Red Bull and vodka? That's a big one. Popular.
That's on occasion, but most of the time I'm getting like Red Bull on the rocks. I mean, not Red Bull on the Red Bull on the rocks, vodka or Grey Goose on the rocks, or like just Grey Goose water, maybe some Mio in it, but Grey Goose and water, Grey Goose on the rocks, Grey Goose, you know, or I'll drink beer. And I generally can drink anything, but my go-to is definitely Grey Goose.
Yeah.
Like people know me for Grey Goose. Every year on my birthday, I get so many bottles of Grey Goose, and it's so awesome.
So if we were playing a drinking game and someone had to take a shot every time that you said Grey Goose, they would have just gotten drunk.
Yes.
I think that was 7.
Yes.
Well, how are you guys not sponsoring this
for the
guy already?
rest of this podcast? Start drinking, get some shots, Grey Goose. Okay.
Hey, folks, you know what I love to drink when I wake up in the morning?
Grey Goose.
Grey Goose.
Hell yeah.
Now available in 1-gallon bottles.
You know.
Oh, wait, no, they already have those, right?
They have half-gal bottles, which are like that big around and that tall. Matter of fact, I was just joking with somebody before I came here talking about what size bottle I would have bought you. And I was like, I could have just got 2 half-gals. Which would be major.
This guy walks in like, yeah, it's for you.
Yeah, that's yours now.
Dude, you would be supplying me with alcohol for the next 2 years of the amount that I drink. I'd be like, thank you, man.
With great power comes great responsibility.
Right.
People come in on the podcast, would you like some? No? Well, I'm just trying to get rid of it.
Hey! What I've realized, though, is that is a wise thing to do. That's one thing that Rogan does that works so well. It's like just offering to smoke and drink with people for something casual like this. It allows a lot of people to open up in a way they wouldn't normally. Like, that's why today I was kind of open to it. Because I don't normally, but you know what? It's a podcast. We're just chilling. Like, I think I'll drink some water inside of a beer bottle. It sounds fun.
Yeah, right. I love water in Grey Goose bottles.
Yeah.
Grey Goose. Grey Goose.
It's like you're
if anyone is Grey Goose.
Subliminal fucking message.
Yeah. Dude, no, I mean, that's a good point because it helps, like, at least it's people getting into their element instead of outside of their
social
element.
lubricant.
Yeah, it literally is. Like, I don't necessarily have to drink to have fun or anything like that, or, you know, like, or to just be me. But, like, yeah, no, whenever I do just feel like drinking or having a few drinks, dude, yeah, I'm just like, give me a Grey Goose.
Yeah, man.
Grey Goose.
Like, when I'm feeling like I really need to just take a step out of my everyday lifestyle and just do something new, something fresh, something different, I just pick me up a little bit of Grey Goose, and I feel like a brand new guy.
Hell yeah, Grey Goose. But I do feel like it's more now than ever that people, you know, pick their like drug of choice or, you know, whatever that, because depending on who you're around and who you're with, you know, everything is so PC, you know, and it's like everybody's minds in nowadays has been so brainwashed to be, you have to think of that every second of every, so like most of our energy is going to thinking about and all, you know, like more than normal, not just like obviously you should be thinking about what you're saying and this, that, and the other, but like it's going more so just looking out for our backs, almost like in a fear kind of situation where it's like, yo, keep it PC, keep it PC, keep it PC. Make sure you don't say something, this, that, and the other. And it's like, fuck that. Like, God damn it. Like, and, you know, a lot of people, I feel like, you know, like you have a sip of alcohol or you smoke and it takes, you know, it's like, whatever. I'm a little more loosey-goosey on whatever I'm saying or doing. And, you know,
give somebody a few beers and they're like, man, you know that book of Mice and Men got fucking banned. or sometimes, which this happens often with me, because just because like I don't peer pressure people, okay? But I am a very good influencer when it comes to just, hey, just have a drink with me. And then it turns into, you know, like 20 of them. But then, but you know, like I have a way of bringing out the inner alcoholic.
Yeah, I do. That's exactly the inner alcoholic in you. But it's so interesting to get to know somebody when they're drinking.
Yeah, it's a different. It's a different. Like we were talking about with the different versions of people.
Yeah.
You get a certain version of
You
them.
get a version, and that version, you can typically understand some of the even hidden things about a person, like this, they start to show, or like personality traits that start to show that they might hide, in person, like
I would say that goes beyond the drinking, though. It's also just how personable you are.
Exactly.
I can
how
tell
open.
I can tell you're an open, personable person. So if you are the guy that somebody's drinking with, you're the guy they're gonna be like, man, when I was 4, this shit happened to me.
Yeah, and I get that. I do get that a lot too. Like, so I was saying, I went up to Michigan Tech for school for a few years. Didn't finish, but I went for audio engineering and theater and entertainment. And dude, there's nothing to do but drink up there.
Yeah.
That Michigan Tech Houghton trained my liver so hardcore. And so some of my best buddies.
His liver was in school.
Dude.
That was also learning.
It was, bro. Compared to me starting out there to where I am now, liver-wise,
It deserved a fucking diploma.
Yeah, a trophy, a diploma, something, some kind of medal, dude. And so I have a couple buddies from up there that have, lasted through the years, over a decade now that I've been friends with them. But they started out, we all started out drinking up there, and not started out, but we really fine-tuned our drinking up there, and just had a good time.
Fine-tuned our
I'm just saying,
I know exactly what you're saying.
Yeah. Dude, and to this day, anybody that me and the other two drink with, it's just like me and weed, but the opposite. So with weed, compared to somebody who's been smoking for so long, it's okay, they've been smoking, they're used to it. It's just oh yeah, it takes, a lot to get me high or whatever. But that's with me, it takes a lot for me to get drunk or start to catch a buzz.
I think it's nature and nurture, though. It's that, what you just said, which is nurture, but it's also that we all do respond differently to different things.
Yeah, that's
some
true
people
too.
just from the jump can't smoke.
Yeah, your natural response from it.
Yeah.
That's me. I cannot smoke.
Or, a story you hear a lot, too, is people can smoke for so long, and then all of a sudden they start getting this paranoia. They can't even shake it anymore. They just have to stop smoking.
Really?
When they're in their 20s, they'll just start. The weed will make them too paranoid, and they can't smoke anymore. I've heard it a lot.
Yeah.
It's not just a small group of people. It's a lot of people.
See, and it's hit and miss for me when I smoke. I've had really good times, and I've had really bad times, and it's just I don't know. Yeah, it's just I'm not in control enough to really continue.
Do you often though? Are you drinking in the process?
So the times that I'm speaking about that's really good or really bad are. Oh no, I was drinking.
Because I just feel for me, it's never because I've smoked separately so much. I'm very conscious of the difference, and I prefer smoking separate from drinking. If I can.
Yeah,
I don't mind a little bit of a mix.
Yeah.
Just a little bit of a mix, but too much in, if I'm, for example, if I've taken 5 shots, I shouldn't be hitting anything.
That's when I should smoke.
Yeah.
That's the moment.
You need the drinking to get to the smoking.
Yeah.
For me, it's no, that's when I don't do it. Yeah.
That's so wild, dude.
I know.
Because I only know my perspective, so it's
And that's why I say that about physiology and the way that people are different.
Yeah.
Because sure, it is how often you do it, but I bet if you smoked all the time, you still would need probably a couple drinks just to get there.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
It's so, because I've heard the opposite from so many people, but it's okay, well, people are I say, if I smoke, I feel like I'm completely out of control. I don't know where I'm at. I don't know this, that, and the other. I don't have control over anything. I can't just do this, and this and sober up a little bit or this, that, and the other. It just has to run its course.
Yeah.
That I don't like. But then when I'm drinking, for me, it's I feel completely in control until it gets excessive. Until I'm is extremely inebriated, and then you're just blacking out, browning out, just all this stuff. And you are not in control. But for the most part, I feel in control whenever I'm drinking, and the opposite whenever I'm smoking. So then I think what it is that when I drink a whole bunch, because I was telling him, guys, that before the show, that I have to be equally drunk as I am high if I'm going to smoke. If I smoke, but it's I think it's just because I feel like I have a grasp on my brain still. Like I don't feel lost. But the moment like, oh man, yeah, I feel fucking lost. It's all hell.
It's just interesting to me, especially just the fact that you get so lost from it. Because for me, I almost get more tapped into whatever it is. My
Really?
problem is just that I lose track. That's the only thing. Like
hyper focused on whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like that. Because before, what we were talking about was I was saying that I do like, I like the difference that it provides, but I'll catch myself losing track of what it was that I was saying.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, what were we just talking about? I hate doing that because I like keeping the conversation, whatever that thread is. I like the fact that we're moving in a direction. That's what makes this thing work.
Right.
And so, and I'm
like
supposed to be the host
chaos,
here,
right?
So like, I'm high as hell over here, like having my high thoughts, and all of a sudden we're off on like cloud 9, and I can't remember where we took off from. So
stay on cloud 9. That's what it's saying.
It's just a tough thing to manage.
Yeah.
And it's all about how you master it. But I prefer. I don't know. It's just I can do that well. I've learned I can do that well, and I suppose what you're saying. I'm glad you have the self-awareness to know that about yourself. Because some people they would walk in and you'd be like, "Hey, you want to hit this real quick?" And then they go ahead and smoke, and all of a sudden their brain just turned to butter, and now they can't even do the podcast anymore.
Right.
But they were supposed to know that about themselves. I couldn't stop that.
Exactly.
I was being nice.
Yeah, I was it's complimentary. Like, you don't have to.
You were about to bring me a gallon of Grey Goose.
I was, dude. That's why I messaged you. I was like, not everybody drinks.
Yeah.
So I'm so glad you said something. You're like, no, I'm more of a smoker. I'm like, okay, duly noted. Duly noted, man. Yeah,
but I mean, so it's just one of those things where
you gotta know you.
You gotta know you, and it's great that you do, because some people wouldn't. Some people would hit that and just melt themselves into that couch right there.
Yeah, dude, just sit here. Like so many people, they're like, you don't smoke? Like they'll be like, they'll pass me something just casually or something. Like, nah.
That's that, and I feel like people would call that peer pressure. I don't think it really is. I think people just get the wrong idea.
It's like, hey, you're in the circle, cool. Yeah. But I'm just there for the social part. So
most people don't care if you don't hit it.
Yeah,
they're happy to just pass it to the next guy, and they're happy to have you there.
And that's the thing is like it's less of peer pressure and it's more of you being insecure, thinking,
exactly,
if I say no, what will they think about me?
And most of the time, and when I say most of the time, I mean 99.9% of the time, they don't give a fuck. They think more for me. Yeah. That's what they think.
Or they're not even worried about you at all because they're high.
They were being nice. They're just passing it over. They were doing the gesture that they know they were supposed to do.
Yeah. For me, even just saying like, oh, no, I'm good. And I pass it on, it sparks like a huge conversation. I'm like, I'm social. Like, sparking conversation's what I do. Like, yes.
Yeah.
Well, glad you asked.
I bet the conversation that usually happens is, no, I got to drink a little bit first.
That is exactly it. I'm telling that, and I'm like, and then my exact words are, with a variation of how long, I'm like, if I hit that one time, I'll be high for like months, years, weeks, depending on whatever. So I just, I'm just staying away from it.
As they pass it to you, just say to them, so how do you feel about my personality right now? Do you like this guy? Would you like him to be around tomorrow?
Do you like this guy? Do you like TJA?
If I hit that, I don't know if you're going to see this guy for a few months.
You're going to create a fourth version of me, and I don't know who that guy is. I don't fuck with that guy.
Coming from the Space Jam metaverse. Yeah. Popping in.
Yeah, exactly, dude.
Man. So how did you get into music? I guess we can go into like the history of it. We can make this like an interview if we want to try.
Yeah. I've been in music my whole life, but I never really took it seriously until high school because I don't know, just the way I grew up and with everything that I was around, my thought process wasn't. The things I thought weren't big enough. The picture wasn't big enough for me. Like I was very naive as a child. I was super naive. Like, what I saw was reality and nothing else was, outside of it. And, growing up biracial, just however, my parents are and however, this, that, and the other were. Like I didn't know until I was like 8 or 9, maybe even 11, I want to say, that my brothers and sisters were half brothers and sisters. I was just like, yo, these are my brothers. Like, I grew up with them. Like, these are brothers and sisters, you know? But, like, my family's like the Brady Bunch. So I've got two siblings that are all black, two siblings that are all white, and then me and my closest sister, like, in age, are mixed. So, like, we're just the freaking Brady Bunch, dude, and it's awesome. Like, and it's super awesome. But I never knew.
I have a song where I wrote a line where it says, "If you wouldn't have told me, I'd think that races are running." Right? That's how I look at it. Like, the world teaches you to think that way.
Exactly, and you're taught by your environment. You're taught by all the things that you go through. And at the time, I guess my family was just really big on just living life, having fun, doing this, that, and the other. And so it wasn't until, like, as I got older that I started hitting these, I guess you could say, negative situations that started to mold you. You're not, and really you can't grow unless you have, unless you've hit the bottom, unless you've had the dynamic of having pain or, this, that, and the other. Those negative things you have to go through in order
Pressure makes a diamond.
Yeah. So just growing up, I was super naive. So, like, I never knew, like, okay, well, this could be a business or this could be, a future for me. So I was like, I was in the church choir since I was, like, real little, like, singing in the church choir. As I got older, we were singing in church. I wanted, like, to sing different solos at church and things like that. And then all through, like, elementary school, dude, I remember me and a buddy, Tony Matar. He's been he's one of my best friends, longest friend since like second grade. But we'd be in, like, our first grade, and we'd be in the front of the bus, like, just singing parodies of songs, like, just sitting it, like, I don't know, we were weird, but we were awesome, like, we were super awesome. That recording thing in Toy Story, that toy that had, like, the little microphone coming off, like, from Hasbro or whatever the fuck it is, and you put, like, cassette tapes in it and record? We had that thing on the bus recording these songs. Like, I wish one day I come across the cassette tape of us singing, what was it? I Believe I Can Die, or, like, the parody of I Believe I Can Fly. Dude, we were just singing all kinds of dumb stuff. But, so we were singing all through then. I got to high school, and immediately I started doing football, running track. And then my sister wanted to do the musical. And it was, my sister wanted to do a musical. She was like, hey, can you just go there for support? And I'm like, all right, yeah, I'll go there. Not expecting anything out of it. I go there, actually end up getting a part and all this shit. And then so I dove into, like, choir, and I started, like, perfecting my voice. Because I thought my brother had taught me how to rap at, like, 11. We were Christian rapping for a little while, right? And that's what, like I said, I grew up in the church. I was Christian rapping. And I remember...
crapping all over the place.
Yeah, dude, I was trash. I was big trash.
Christian rap. I mean, that's the short version.
Yeah,
crap.
Yeah,
Christian rap.
Yeah, I see. Yeah. I was crapping all over the place. And but my brother, he's really good, really talented, and he ended up starting to teach me how to do, little, like, different triplets and doing different styles of rap and this, that, and the other, and putting, some swag into it, just putting you into it. So I learned.
And that's an art. That's an art that people it almost can't even be taught.
Yeah.
Like, you have to kind of figure out how to insert yourself.
Yeah, like
with your own touch.
You have to be able to, with music, you have to be able to display and get across your emotion to other people. Music is the one thing that has a direct effect to our emotions, like no other, and, like, it's a talent. Like, you have to be able to know people and know this, that, and the other, and know how to express yourself so someone can actually feel it and relate,
Yeah, I often feel like the best stuff that I write is when I'm tapping into something that is beyond myself.
Yeah.
And in that, I think that people feel that when they hear that art, like, this is beyond the artist. It's just bigger than them.
Some of the songs that I've written that like, and I write all my music, and some of the songs that do the best are the ones that they're not because all the music I write because it's something that I've been through, So, like, maybe one song might be multiple different situations that I've been through my life, but the ones that really just hone in on one specific thing where I was just feeling it, whether it's sad, happy, this, that, and the other, really resonates with people because they feel that emotion. They feel that I was putting myself into that track, and myself, was pushed out through that, and they can feel it. And I've always been a big preacher of, music's only music. It's only so powerful because it's that one thing that tells somebody, hey, I'm not the only person feeling this way.
Someone presented the idea to me of music therapy as a career, and that's one of the only careers I've ever heard in my life that actually sounded like, wow, that'd be a decent way to spend my life. Because I love making music, and I love the therapeutic nature of music. I feel passionately about that.
And that's honestly where I derive like my drive to do music. Like, obviously it's an escape for me personally, but like to hear somebody so I just went to a festival, like a local festival in Yale. It was dope. It was Good Vibes Mini Fest. And I got to perform, and the DJ that I asked to just DJ my music, he was like, "Yeah, man, some of those tracks that you sent," he was like, he said that specifically one that's like my number one right now that's always been doing good for so many years, See Me on Top. But he was like, "Yo, that song resonated with me so fucking much." Like, he's like, I thank you because you sent that to me. I know I was supposed to DJ that, DJ it for you, and you're supposed to send it to me. He's like, but thank you. And I was like, dude, that raw reaction is why I fucking love to keep doing what I'm doing and keep pushing on, because it's not really so much for the money, obviously, because if it was, I'm doing a terrible job at it. But no, that right there is the reason that, that's my drive. That's my motivation. Because jumping back in high school, it wasn't until like junior year, I already at this point wanted to hone in on because I already knew how to rap. And I wanted to hone in on like my music skills. And so I started taking choir. I got into that. And then I had a bunch of friends that were like in like older grades. I was like sophomore, and they're like a seniors. And they were like, yeah, we need a senior song. But I was friends with a lot of those seniors. So like I went and wrote a senior song for them. And it ended up being their senior song for that year. And like so many of them started crying because of the song and just this, that, and the other. Every time they heard it, I'd play it live because I had a guitar or whatever. And I'd, play a little, I'd play the song and people would just be crying. And I'm like, yo, what the fuck? Like, just because I wrote like some, I don't know, some semi, personal / vague stuff, but about like I'm like, this is awesome. Like, just the feeling of like those tears of happiness, that they're moving on, that they're maybe not see everybody again, but it's just that song that provoked them to have so much emotion. I love that. And so that just transpired. And my senior year, I ended up writing a senior song, went off without a hitch. And then I went from there and continued writing. And then I just started diving into it after I got out of school, which I wish I did it when I was in school, because there's so many plugs and different things that you can do in school and just shit like that.
There were so many times where I would have to give a speech and I would make that a rap. I would take the opportunity to rap. That was a lot of it for me.
Where'd you go to school?
Swartz Creek High School. That's going to be one of my security questions. So somebody just got the answer, right?
Yeah. What school did you go to? What was the name of your pet when you were...
Just keep asking me those questions. Right. So, yeah, man. And also the last 4 digits of my social security, just to let you guys know. But, it was just, for me, I wasn't even thinking like an advertisement type of thing. I wasn't thinking like, this is a plug. It was just an outlet. Like, it made sense.
Yeah.
There was one time I remember this guy had a lawn mowing company. And I asked him, like, hey, could I write a rap for your lawn mowing company and give it in front of the class? And I think what it was is we had to, like, incorporate a couple Spanish words inside of an advertisement. And that was the assignment. Okay. So I turned it into, hey, can I make a rap about your lawn mowing company?
Dude, that's what's up, man.
And all I have to do is say hola and a couple other words inside the rap.
And then it's just all the rest about lawn mowing.
And, dude, they loved it because not only was I accomplishing what I understood the assignment, as the kids would say.
Yeah.
Like, I was literally doing everything I was supposed to do and above and beyond because I'm fucking rhyme. Like, my rhyme scheme was still there back then.
Do you remember?
I wish I could find some of these raps to show you. I was going to say,
do you remember that rap?
Okay, so a prime example that people can find. This is one of my shining moments of my high school rap career, of my early rap career. So I was in Teen Quest, and what Teen Quest is a job training program.
Okay.
And me and a couple of friends decided, you know what? Like, fuck it. It's after school. We'll probably get a job out of it. It'll be nice and easy. It's an easy segue into a job.
Yeah.
Is kind of how I was looking at it. And a lot of the information I learned from there, I still use today. So shout out to Teen Quest, and I really do endorse it. Like, people don't realize that as a young kid, or just as anybody, but especially when you're younger, it's very beneficial to get job training, just so you know how to be professional. And so I'd still, to this day, support Teen Quest and everything that they're doing, because it really is a genuinely positive thing for kids to have, especially in this area. Like, people need to know how to be professional and how to get a job.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, so I just to preface that, shout out Teen Quest.
Shout out Teen Quest.
But
Grey Goose.
Grey Goose!
Go ahead.
Those go together so well.
Teen Quest and Grey Goose.
So I remember the end of Teen Quest, they had a graduation ceremony. And we're all going to be, it's 1,000 people at the ceremony, because it's all the students from all these different districts, plus their parents, plus all the facility, like everybody that's involved in it is going to be there.
Yeah.
And they want one person from each school, because they just had different locations they were doing it at. So let's say there's like 6 different districts, and each one's in Swartz Creek, one's one county over. So like, it's not like it's every single school. It's split up a little bit.
Yeah.
So you got a wide range of people showing up at this event.
Yeah.
And the idea is they needed somebody to give a speech at this event, including all the things they learned in Teen Quest. They had to make sure to include there was like a chant that you had to have for your group. So that was kind of hard. I had to incorporate a chant inside of the rap, where I would yell at the group of people, "Who are we?" And then they would say, "The new generation. Who are we? The new generation." That's part of it, which is, I guess, that kind of works for hip hop rap, right? Kind of even played into it better.
Call and response, kind of like.
Yeah. So there was all this stuff I had to do, and I had to write it within like 3 days. So it was crunch time, and I remember I was writing it the day I was going to present it. Like, I'm sitting there in the room,
finishing it
in the room before I'm about to go up, writing the end of it, trying to finish. But that only made it better. Pressure makes a diamond, right?
True. I like that.
I know it does, because when I got up in front of that room and I did that speech that I just finished like 5 minutes before, that room lit up, dog. And I was just doing what I do. This is what I do. I've done this a million times. I write a rap when I get the opportunity.
I got this.
And oh man, I wish I could just do it off the top of my head. I don't think I have it written down here on my phone, and I can try to find it as I'm saying some of these things. What's the name of it?
Link
so there is a link that people can go find, and I would just pull it up even.
Guys,
we're gonna not gonna sound as good.
We're gonna put it in.
It's called the Teen Quest Testimony, and we can put it in the description.
Hell yeah, dude! Hell yeah!
But it's called the Teen Quest Testimony, and there's a video even on here. There is a video of me doing it. So this is the thing: the story ends with I give the speech in front of like the room of 1,000 people. Thank God I was the last person to go up, because I would hate to go after me. I remember like everybody went and they did their boring speeches. No offense, but it's like everybody did exactly what you'd expect.
Yeah, y'all got boring speeches.
This is not a fun graduation thing. It's a formal graduation thing.
Oh,
so
snap!
It just made it better, right? So I just get in front of that thing and I just start spitting these bars, right? And the room, dude, goes crazy. I'm talking, they started to try to do that stomp thing to give me a beat. Yeah. And, like, they had to keep
throws you off because of the echo.
Yeah, and it wasn't written to a tempo, so it was fucking me up. Like, this is like spoken word shit. Like, you guys are not, you don't get it, guys.
That's awesome.
Oh, and I do have the lyrics in the description of this video, so I can, okay.
Fucking gold.
Thank God. So here we go.
Let me hear it.
This is how it goes. And I wrote this in high school.
Hell yeah.
For the record, people. All right? And I had to include, this is the other thing about this, to preface it, I had to include all these things. So it's not like I can write whatever I want.
So you had a challenge as well.
Yeah.
It wasn't just, that's pretty
cool. I had a framework. Yeah. I had a skeleton to go off of. Mm-hmm. I had to include each lesson that we learned in Teen Quest, that chant thing I told you about. I had to include the names of my instructors, and there's a few other things, but that's about it. So here we go. Here we go. All right, here we go. The quest is done, but the journey's just begun. It was fun here. Clearly I wasn't under the gun, but I'm really ready now. See, I can't ask Siri how to be the one to make my employer revere me. What is Teen Quest? A program that can deploy me to be the best employee I can be. Not noisy or coy, but with poise. His choice is delicate. And you can't forget the business etiquette. That's the presentment of you, your tone of voice. Your mood ought not be rude if you want to be employed. Gotta be conventional, keep it exceptional, respectable, and they'll see that you are a professional. Again, what is Teen Quest? More or less a program to help us be ready for the inevitable. Reaching out to the average team made to make them incredible, whether alone or in a team. Professionally sensible. And that's incredible to me. Props to Miss Sanyati. Before an interview with a bomb bigger than Nagasaki. Now watch me, I'm the bomb on the screen kamikaze, cause I'm coming from out of nowhere on the job scene positively. Blame it on my PMA, my positive mental attitude that'll be innate in the workplace, plus the way I communicate can demonstrate my thoughts great, that's objective 8. And next was 9, accept and change. It's expected that nothing ever stays the same. And if you can't overcome and cope, you can't take the weight of a workspace and keep up with the pace. Initiative isn't given, you gotta take it and make it a mission to exceed expectations. Place it beneath you to only do what you're told. Break free from the mold. Be bold and make a statement you won't achieve if you only dream. Set a goal and chase it. Your fate won't change if you don't take rain. You'll go insane if you rely and hope to succeed and just dream. Give that dream some affirmation. I have to give thanks for the application preparation. Can't wait to applicate it and get admiration. Also, the evolution of my conflict resolution has been nothing but improvement since I was a student of this program. That's character development. To be honest, man, I just joined this for the heck of it. With all due respect, I wasn't expecting this, but this a testimony. I'm a Teen Quest testament to show that you can grow by paying attention to the lessons presented in it. They're like interview questions. On the second day, we did first impressions. My first impression was that this could work with work, and it worked. Work hard or don't work, which is the perfect segue into this next segment. I have 2 questions for my site. The answers drill right into their minds, so it won't be hard to find. I want to hear right now who we are, but what the motto is, so on with it. Stand and give me a hand. Who are we?
The new generation.
Who are we?
The new generation.
Who are we?
The new generation.
What is our motto? And you gotta say, work hard or don't work.
Work hard or don't work.
What is our motto?
Work hard or fuck you.
What is our motto?
Work hard or don't work.
I have to thank Mr. Hatcher for being a master at his craft and making this great class a blast. Not only that, but Cameron Rhodes also. They all made this all so awesome, so thanks from us all. I gotta thank who made this all. Retta Hunyadi, cause she's the reason I see a job for me. See, the quest is over, but the only goal's been won. So the quest is done, but the journey's just begun. Thank you.
Hey, bro.
So just imagine a room of 1,000 people not expecting
Just
that
like-
to happen.
Jaws dropped the whole time, like
I felt like a celebrity. I haven't felt like a celebrity any more than I did that day because
Should've
I was walking
dropped the
around and
mic.
everybody in that room was like, "Yo, you're the guy!"
yeah. You're him. You're him.
I lit up that whole event. I've never done it since. It felt so powerful.
That's what's up, dude.
And that's my best example of me rapping when I wasn't supposed to. So yeah, man. Shout out Teen Quest for even letting me do that too. 'Cause,
Shout out Teen Quest.
yeah, they were down. They were like, "Yo, this guy." They probably respected it. They're probably like, "This guy's a go-getter."
Dude, yeah, no, that like those moments were so opportune because yeah, when I did the like the senior song, it was at like the graduation ceremony. And like we were up on stage, a few of us, and there was a guy playing on the drum box or whatever. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, just a loop pad type of thing?
No, it was like those boxes with all the instruments inside.
Yeah.
And it depends on how you hit it. That you can play a snare, you can play the kick, you can play whatever.
Yeah.
He had one of those, and that's what we did. We did it like live, and dude, ever since then, like everything fucking took off, and then I ended up after a while, after making a bunch of
You
music.
realize the power of music is what it is. Like
yeah.
you can't forget that.
Yeah, like, and that's the word. That's the word. The power of music, because it is so fucking powerful. You don't understand.
It's its own language.
Yeah,
even.
you
You can
can-
speak to people in foreign languages with music.
Yeah, and if you're playing the right music, you can easily, like, physically have somebody do more than what they think they can do physically. You can have somebody push themselves harder.
Well, that's
you
why I
can
said
have
that thing about the gas tank.
Yeah,
About
yeah.
how your car can drive farther without no gas.
Yep. And it's crazy that it can do that. Like, it has that power. Like, you know, with our minds at least. You know, and like, and it's nuts. It's nuts to think about. And you know, that pushed me to just keep going. I made some music. I made some more music, and then met up with Schizo. Shout out to Schizo. Yeah, I'm not gonna say your government name, but Schizo and the Browns. I guess I could say that. But both of them, man, I found them on Reverb Nation, and they were like, "Come on out, and we'll talk about like doing this, that, and the other." So we ended up working together for a while on a bunch of different tracks on Heart Beatin', on Superman, on a few other ones, and then they took me to see Michiano and Bandit Music Group, and I linked up with Bandit Music Group, and Bandit Music Group got me linked up with Bernard Terry, which BT, shout out to BT, rest in peace. Bernard Terry ended up believing in me and giving me the keys to his studio so that I could get in there and do my own thing when he's not in there. We were talking about that. From there, it was Bandit Music Group and Fly Side. We were doing stuff for a while. Then and we, bunch of shows at the local, trying to branch out, trying to do this, that, and the other. I remember we flew out to Houston. Man, Bandit Music Group flew me out to Houston. We went out there, did it big as hell, bro. So like, after we got done shooting a music video, we went to a local club, and Michiano ended up spending a bunch of money on. We all got a fifth of Ciroc at the club.
This was in like 2019, right? You're telling me about this.
This was, I want to say like 2014, 15,
okay.
2015.
We all got Ciroc.
Yeah, Ciroc. Dude, but I was still, I'm not going to turn down no free Ciroc, okay? But
I had my Grey Goose in one hand, my Ciroc in the other.
But everybody, like, I remember seeing somebody walking around with an armful stacked of Ciroc fifths. Like, and just me's just handing out the bottles to people, dude. It was such a flex for us to be there doing that. It wasn't funny. He bought like 20 pounds of like crawfish, man. He was the shit. And he just wanted to make sure that we felt like stars, and we're having a good time. He paid for the whole trip and everything was awesome. I loved working with them. But yeah, like I did all that stuff. So we did a bunch of stuff. And then finally, a lot of that fell off, and
as it does.
Yeah, as it does. And then I took a break for a long period of time. I dropped Meeting of the Minds, the album that I was talking about, which was encompassed Toby, TJA, and Anthony. But there's one track that I didn't put out on it that I really want to release here pretty soon. But I always love doing like really cool stuff with my albums or just anything that I release. So like on the album, I had like hard copies, and on the hard copies, if you open it up, there's this whole paragraph explaining like just talking about like the concept. But very few people noticed that every so often there were weird letters that were capitalized within the middle of a word, after a word, beginning of a word, doesn't matter. But you put all those words together.
Spell it all out. It spells Grey Goose.
Plot twist. Yes. But it spelled out a sentence about how I felt not being in control of all three of these entities, and like not very many people noticed that, and like some did, and I'm like, yo,
but that's it's an Easter egg, man. Like that's what's smart about it.
I love putting those out there.
It's showing it's like great video editing. Like the fact that you're willing to even put in those extra hours for things that people may or may not notice is what gives it that extra artistic value.
Yeah.
Like because the people who do think that extra step and they do dig deeper into it, there's a reward for that.
Right. And well, we sold for the 200 copies that I sold, anybody who has one, check that inside cover if you haven't noticed it already. Check that inside cover and read the back of it. But I did that project, and like I said, I was doing a lot of stuff in Flint for a long time, and then ended up ended up just moving, taking a little break from music, and kind of got my shit straight. Ended up, building a studio, full-fledged studio, running it, and I just started releasing like EPs and little tracks here and there. Like I'd release singles and this and that and the other. So I don't know what's next for me. I mean, after, like going out to Cali and figuring out I don't want to be a part of a label and shit like that, and talking with Warner Music Group, and, like I've been through a lot, done a lot, and met a lot of people. And now it's still not just a hobby. Like it's still everything that I do. But, I'm taking it easy. It's not so much like, oh my God, not so much stress on myself. Like I have to be there. I have to be this. I have to do this. No real time constraint on myself. I'm just taking it as is and letting the music finish as itself, And
that's probably a more organic process anyway.
Yeah, because I can force it. I hate forcing it. Other times I can't force it, to write and do all this. But I can take pride in the fact that all the music that I've ever released, people have always felt like the instrumental and the lyrics have always mixed together, that have always meshed together. They go with each other. They feel like they go to each other. It's not just like I have cookie cut verses that I can just copy and paste. Oh, well, I can't have that beat. Well, let me put it on this beat. No, it was written for that beat. Like you can't just switch it now. If I can't use that beat, it's dead. That song is dead. None of the lyrics I can't. It's just dead. And that's how a lot of my music has been. And I started out doing like just straight hip hop, like rap, spoken word, things like that. And I was really good at it. And then I never even thought like maybe I should do some of that stuff that I did, like in high school, and start singing with it. And then I started singing and put out a couple songs that were all singing, and people responded to it really well. They fucking loved it. And then I was like, yo, I fuck with this too. And honestly, dude, the last from 2017 maybe and back was me trying to find my sound. And I still don't even feel like I have a sound, but I guess I do. But like there's been hip hop tracks, there's been pop tracks, there's been dance tracks, there's been EDM tracks. There's like right now I'm releasing an EDP or EP. Sorry, EDP.
EP. But I'm releasing EDM right before it.
Yeah, what the fuck?
The letters bouncing around in your head.
But right now I'm slowly releasing an EP, not as one project, but just as like the singles themselves. But it's like an EDM era, I guess you could say, for me.
Oh, so you're doing an EDM EP.
Yes. And it's like 4 different tracks, and every last one of them are fire as fuck, and it's not just because they're my tracks. Like, honestly, like the people that I've pulled in on it, like, it's producer, The Official. I think that's his producer, The Official, but it's Ruben James from New Zealand. He's pulled in on the project. He's amazing, super amazing. He made the beats that I've been using for it. Some of the tracks have some age to them, but I've finished them now and I've perfected them, and I'm glad that I've waited. But like, they're super awesome. I just released Until You. It's a jam. It's a jam. And I'm really excited for where the position that they're all going right now. And again, they have Easter eggs on the cover art for the EPA, because I like EPA for the EP. And I love doing shit like that, so I'm super excited about it. But like I did. One of my EPs was The Permanent Host. That's what it's called. And super awesome artwork on that. And it was the very first time that I've released music that's actually genuinely like serious and sad. I guess you could say it's sad, but it was just in-depth shit, like real shit, like like male depression, male, this, that, and the other. And it's a great example of it. And I wanted it to be a great example of just telling the male audience, like, hey, you're not alone. Like, there's struggles as much as we all don't want to admit it, and we all, create this facade, which I think it's still healthy to keep that facade and stay strong and not give in to just chaos. But, but understand you're not alone, even though we all don't talk about it that much. Like, understand you're not alone, stay strong, and keep pushing through. Like, you're good. Like, you're not the only one going through this shit. Like, we all do. Just keep being strong,
Yeah, and just to make sense of that to people real quick, I think, there's just this traditional way of viewing masculinity, like you don't share the way you're feeling. You shouldn't speak on those things. And so you'll often see guys who, even though they may not subscribe to a conventional way of thinking, they still fall into that pattern of, I shouldn't be revealing this about myself.
Right.
Whereas, if you just think about the regular female conversation, you get 3 girls together, they're going to be talking all about, this is what happened to me today.
It's completely different.
A guy, they're just not expected to bring that stuff up traditionally. And so, I think the best thing we can do is just fight that and just, be honest about the way we feel about things and lead by example and break that stigma, right?
I think there's a little bit of, I think we should do that, but I think I see both sides of it. Like I see the value in it. Like,
yeah, I agree.
Because to go through, I think the knowledge needs to be known there, that I think it just needs to be known that you're not alone, because I think that's the biggest thing that makes it feel so crazy and trapped, is that just know, hey, like this is, for example, I mean, you could say, like whatever, but like, for example, like in a brotherhood, like in college, you join a brotherhood, like there's comfort in knowing, like if you had to go through a process, right? But you thought that it was just being done to you. You're the only person who's, going through these tests and trials. You'd feel pretty, like alone, attacked, this, that, and the other. You're not going to feel that great. But the moment like thousands of people have gone through the same exact thing that you are, and it's because the outcome is greater than you can ever imagine, you're going to sit there and be like, fuck yeah. Man. Fuck yeah, I want to be one of them, And I feel like I think that is a healthy way of viewing it, because I do think that stoicism, needs to be implemented into, really all males. Just that, stoicism to say, hey, I have to be strong, even though I don't want to be.
Yeah, because as you say that, I realize the ignorance in my statement, and it's that if we were to sit around all day and just constantly say, this is how I feel, then we're not accomplishing anything beyond...
we're recognizing it 24/7 instead of being active. And
it's a constant analysis process rather than speaking through action and just getting things done. Because that's really how you conquer those things.
Exactly. And I think, and like even with that, I think that a lot of, and I think purely a lot of men's, like depression and things like that, because I big advocate for it, just comes from the fact
that it feels like it's not shared.
Yeah.
Like we're alone in that.
And that's because we've all been on that same page. Like, doesn't matter, it doesn't matter, this, that, and the other. I mean, plus alongside society is pushed, the idea that we don't give a shit. And it's not really men pushing the fact that, hey, we don't give a shit about you, man. It's just everybody in their actions. Like, it doesn't matter how you feel as a man, like that narrative is being pushed more than ever.
Yeah, people are just apathetic in general. They just don't have a sympathy towards the universe itself.
Right. But I think among men, like, I don't care who you are. If you come up to me and like, I can joke all day about you. I can give you shit all day, joke around with you and, like whatever, make fun of you. But the moment you get serious and want to talk to me about something, oh, you best believe we're sitting down, bro. Like, it's not acceptable for you to be in that how you're feeling. Like, absolutely not. Let's talk about this. Let's hash this out.
Well, shout out Shawnee Newbecker, friend of the podcast.
Yeah.
She said to me once that true love is meeting people where they're at. And that's how I like to think about situations like that.
That's nice.
I mean, that's the true love that you give that person in that moment, is you meet them where they are, because everyone is in a different place. And a lot of people screw up love, and they think they're being loving by projecting this version of someone onto them, when it's really like, if someone needs to hear something in them, or someone just needs to vent, they just want to tell you how they're feeling. All you got to do is be that ear. Like, you have to meet that person wherever they are in that moment.
Yeah. And that's, dude, yeah, I mean, that's so true. It's so powerful. Like, just, and it honestly took me a few years to get that, because like for me, I've always had that logical mind, like,
how are you not doing this though? Like, how are you not like? Because I'm thinking logically. I've had the same problem.
Yeah,
where it's like, but wait, but why are you? Why just hold yourself accountable? Like, why are you not holding yourself accountable?
And it's like, and more often than not, I like to question that, but I also like to give the solution. You know, if that makes sense. Like, I don't want to just be like, why aren't you doing this? Why aren't you doing this? It's like, hey, why aren't you doing this? Because if you might do this, and this, because like that person's probably lost. It's the whole reason why they're feeling the way that they're feeling.
Yeah, the best thing you can do is provide an alternative perspective.
Yeah, listen and provide an alternative. And then even if they don't want to take your alternative, listen some more, you know? But yeah, I don't know. There's a whole...
People are Rubik's Cubes.
Yeah, they are. And there's so much depth to everybody, and it's just... but there are a lot of things that work. And so that whole, like... That whole EP that I released was my perspective on, you know, just me going through it, you know, like me letting people know, like, yo, I get there are tons of guys out there thinking the same exact thing, thinking this, that, and the other. And no, it was really good. I can't tell you how many people reached out, and that's where I benefited from it, that people reaching out and like, hey, I completely feel this way. Thank you for writing this song. Or like, I listen to this all the time, or this, that, and the other. And I'm like, yes.
Yeah, because if anything, like you said before, that's the reason to do it. I mean, to me, it goes beyond even the power of music. If anyone asked me, what's my career goal? Like, what do I want to do with my music? What am I seeking to accomplish? I would just say I want to affect as many people as I possibly can. And hopefully that's in a positive way.
Yeah.
Right? But I mean, even if it's in a negative way, I hope that makes them reflect. I hope if I affect someone in a negative way, I hope that they come out of that a different version of themselves too.
Right.
Because all I seek to do in this world is to make a difference in any way that I can. And I think that's what we should think on a grander scale like that. As people, we should think, how can I make a difference? Because it's the things that we don't think about. It's like when you go out there and you perform and then someone tells you, hey, this affected me so much. That's what makes it all worth it. It goes beyond the artistic process. It goes beyond all of it, because you can't conceptualize that when you're writing the song. You can't think, hey, maybe this is going to make somebody decide to quit their 9-to-5 and go pursue their music career.
You're
but
just giving
it might.
your experience.
Yeah.
And then hopefully later on, hopefully
but it's the faith that it will that makes the process so beautiful, because the more that you do it, the more the universe just confirms that is how it works. I mean, there's been so many things that I've done. These podcasts, the connections that are made, the fact that you bring up Schizo because you saw that there was a Schizo pod. Because right before we started, I was pulling up Adobe Premiere, and he sees Schizo on the screen and starts telling me, hey, I know Schizo.
Yep.
That is the magic of it. Even the fact that there's a connection that's made there, and that you could go back and watch Schizo's episode and be like, yo, that's my friend.
Yeah,
and
I didn't even know he had an episode. Is that released?
It's coming next. It's the next one that's being released as we record this. It's the next episode that's coming out. So the people that are listening, they can go find it right now.
Cool. Yeah,
but
check out.
To me, that's just such a beautiful thing, the spider web, and just that there's so much beyond what I'm seeing. And collaborative stuff confirms it more than anything, because like I said, there's a spider web. Like everybody knows everybody in some type of way.
Yeah.
So,
and even on that lines too, on collaborating with people, like, you know, like I said, I'm pretty social. So honestly, I love the opportunity to collab with people and work with new artists and create something so amazing. Like, I really wish that, I don't know how to say this, because, so like, there are people that I don't want to collab with, you know, because I just don't think that their craft is where it needs to be, or that, you know, I don't think we would mesh very well, like musically. But, so there are some people that I just don't think our styles mix, but there are some people that I don't think their music's that good.
Well, the best way to put it, I suppose, would be that sometimes, folks, the stars don't align.
Yeah, the stars sometimes. But for those that like because it sounds so bad, but for those.
See how I just made it so politically correct?
Yeah. But for those that are pretty talented, in my opinion, you know, there's so much disconnect with collabing with somebody. There's so much.
Oh yeah, because it's always a balance between how much you are in your own head and how much you're in the real world, right?
Yeah.
It's true. I find that the most artistic people are the most for lack of a better word, they're the closest to divas. Like, they're the people that are going to be showing up late. They're the people that are going to have some stupid problem with some project because they wanted it to be this.
Don't message
They have
you
a
back.
vision. They have a vision.
Sorry.
And their vision takes up their whole brain. So, yeah, they're not going to text you back for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And when they text you back, it might be 10 paragraphs.
My bad, Austin.
They're a crazy person. Yeah, shout out Austin. Is it what's the AMW?
Dude, yeah, AMW.
Shout out AMW.
Dude, I can't tell you, Austin, so many other people, but like in my head, I know I'm ADHD, but like it's just a big source of it. But like I'll see a message, I'll be doing something because I'm always doing something, but I'll see a message, somebody will message me and ask me a question, and I'll be like, oh, and I'll think of like the response in my head. And I'll be like, fuck yeah, that's what I just thought. I'm going to tell them that shit when I'm not fucking busy. So then, even when I get to the point of not being busy, I don't remember that they fucking messaged me. And I don't have a notification because I already looked at it. So
I think we're old school, man, because I'm the same way. And I've just chalked it up to the fact that I'd rather talk to you. If I talk to you, I'm not going to have that happen.
Right.
I'm going to tell you right away.
Call me up.
And nothing's going to happen. I'm just going to tell you, and then we're done.
Yeah.
If I'm going to text you, well, now we have this whole fucking new way of doing things. Like, I'm terrible at messaging people back. I wish I had a manager for that reason alone. Because I'm the guy who has to schedule all this shit, and that's the only reason I'm even fucking messaging anyone at all.
Dude, what's that meme? And they're like, if you had to call or text somebody, or if you had a gun to your head, and the only way you would survive is if the person you pick doesn't text you back or doesn't call. I get tagged in that so freaking often. I'm like, love you guys. Yeah, I'm just out here saving lives. That's all I'm trying to do,
Yeah.
But yeah, dude,
I'll be that guy.
I'll like message back the answer to a question somebody asked like a week ago, and they'll be like, well, I don't give a shit now. Like,
well, I just hate this sentiment that, like, if I don't text you back, I don't care, or that's, like...
I want to put more thought into it. I don't want to just brush it off like it's just nothing.
Yeah, because I don't have the mental capacity. And also, with my ADHD brain, I'm going to consume too much of my brain trying to text you back.
Yeah.
You know how much of my brain it takes? I can't text people when
operate?
I'm around other people either. It's something I've noticed. So if I'm next to someone else, like if we're talking right now, I can't text anybody.
Or else I'll be in that text and I won't hear you.
Yeah, I won't hear you. I'll tell myself, oh, I'll just send this text real quick, but I'm still 100% here. But I'm just telling myself that I'm lying.
Right.
Like, that's not true.
I'm completely lying to you.
Yeah. If I'm being honest, I know that's not the truth, and so I restrain. And like,
100%.
It's to the point where like I had a girlfriend once, and I had to like, no, like I'm not ignoring you, baby.
Yeah,
I promise.
It's not you. It's me.
It's me. To the entire time I have anyone ever in this podcast studio or on the premises, I will rarely send a text message. Ever, because it's impossible for me. And so, like, I completely understand.
Dude, that's why I've barely been on my phone, even since I've walked in the door. I think I was on it like one time, but you like walked away or whatever, because I will not be able to focus. I can't do this, that, and the other. Like,
I lock in.
Yeah, once it's because I've heard this so often about ADHD people that once if it's not right here in front of me, actively engaging me, it doesn't exist. It is not real until it is in my eyesight or engaging me. Like,
and that's why we're always late.
Yeah, dude, I was here at like 12. Today I was supposed to be here at noon. I got here at like
That's
12,
actually not bad for us ADHD numbers.
Yeah, because it was 12:03, and then I stopped at the liquor store, and then I came down here. So
and to be fair, that was just for the gallon of Grey Goose.
Yeah, that was that was for the water-filled Grey Goose.
Yeah. Yeah, you stopped at the store, you bought it, you poured it out, you filled it up with water.
That's
so,
what it was.
like, the thing is, I have learned that in other countries, it's actually part of their culture that you don't have to be on time, and that makes me feel better.
Really?
Right? Because it's like, oh, so just in America, we're just fucking sticklers for this shit. I can't tell you how many times I have had scheduling conflicts because of my ways, okay?
Yeah.
To put it in a short and sweet way. Like, I wish it was just an asterisk that was right next to my name when you want to schedule something with me. Hey, may or may not. It's a 30-minute wiggle room, whatever the time you pick is.
Yeah.
And to me, that's great. That's
Normal,
comfortable.
and that's perfect.
Most of the time, this is what people don't get. Most of the time, it doesn't fucking matter that I'm 15 or 20 minutes. Why do you care so much?
Yeah.
Is it that important? And if it
Yeah.
is, you better let me know beforehand. This is your
I need
formal
to know
warning.
this. I
Me
need to
saying this
know
right
this.
now. And I've heard that it's a creative thing too.
Yeah.
Us creatives, we are just always wrapped up in our own heads that I think it's very, very hard to just whoop, pull out of there and actually lock into the outside world for a second and be
way.
on time for something. So I have to remember this too. It's not just me. Like, shout out Casey Neistat. I was watching him recently, and he was talking about how, like, he showed up 2 hours late for Logan Paul's podcast. This is right when he got on there. And they were talking to him about it, and he was just super duper just brushing it right off his shoulder. Like, no, that's just what I do now. I'm in LA.
me.
I don't have a time frame anymore.
Yeah.
Like, I don't need one. Because in New York, he had a rigid time schedule, so he just
Dude.
flipped this whole thing. Now he's just late if he wants to be.
Yeah.
To me, that's the life. That's the golden way to live. Like,
Yeah.
I wish I could just roll up 2 hours late and have everybody be okay with it.
Yeah, because that's major. That's 2 hours.
That's the beauty. 2 hours is too much. If you ask me, 2 hours is pushing
That's
it.
pretty strong.
I
isn't
only
it?
like to hit. If I hit over a half hour, I feel genuinely terrible.
Yeah,
I'm like,
I do feel
"Oh,
bad.
I fucked up.
If
But
I'm 5 minutes, 10 minutes late, I'm like, if you guys, I don't give a shit. Like, I'm here. I made it. Like,
Yeah.
I put a valiant effort. Matter of fact, I was rushing to get here.
I will tell you, I once did a podcast here where I had it scheduled. He was here in my driveway, and I was setting it up in here, trying to get it ready for him before he comes in.
Mm-hmm.
And he texts me about 8 minutes after the scheduled time, after he sat there for about 8 minutes, and he says, I'm leaving. This isn't, like, just to let you know, you shouldn't. He gives me a whole, like, talking to type of thing. I'm thinking, bro, this is a podcast. Like, this normally takes 2 hours.
Yeah, like, relax. We're going to be here for a while.
Like, I think he thought that it was going to be like a 15-minute thing, like a quick little podcast.
Quick little interview.
Yeah, he had a
Like-
false impression of what it was.
I see. Yeah, I can imagine that if you had an expectation and it's not this, but you did. Yeah, I can
But
see
again,
that.
that's not, it's like if, in my perfect world,
Yeah.
bro, he would be cool sitting out there 20 minutes. What the fuck's the problem?
Dude, like, yeah, like today, I pulled up, I called you, and I didn't get an answer, so I was like, all right, cool. So I called my buddy. I'm like, just making plans for after this. So
I think
was
that's
just
why
like,
the other
whatever.
cultures think that way. They're more casual about it because they know their times. It's just beautiful that they're alive. They're just
Yeah.
happy to be there. So
We're
they're just-
doing this.
They're sitting there for that 10 minutes. They're like, you know what? I'll make a phone call.
Yeah.
I could fill up this time with my. We all got phones now, so we have a magical thing that can fill up our time for 5
Weird.
minutes.
Yeah. I could watch reels for 20 minutes here.
Yeah.
Won't even know anything happened. Dude. Oh, shit.
But like for the record, I can see how people would view it as like an unprofessional thing. It all depends on context. I should say
Yeah.
that. I should put that around this whole
And who you're
conversation.
working with, what industry, this, that, and the other. Like, there's other areas where it's like, yo, you probably should be there.
I was talking to somebody about this when it comes to like putting together shows.
Yeah.
If I'm an organizer for a show, for example, and you're supposed to be on stage at 8 p.m. and you show up at 8:05 p.m. and you missed the sound check, that is a whole completely different thing. That's not what
firing
that is
mad,
not
bro.
what I'm talking about right now at all. Because that's just not professional.
No.
What I'm talking about is like
a little more lighter.
we're meeting at a restaurant
Right.
and I show up 10, 15 minutes late. What I'm talking about is me and my mom were going to go for a walk that day and I'm going to be at her house at 10, but I show up at 10:45.
Right.
What I'm talking
Or
about.
I can't make it till 2 now. Whatever. We're going for a walk.
These are
but-
different circumstances. Like, I didn't put my professional signature right next to this. Because when people do
Dude.
that type of shit,
I
they
hate
get on my
that.
shit list
I hate
immediately.
that.
I'm like, oh, well, now I know I can't rely on you for this type of thing.
I hate that, bro. I
Yeah.
hate and that's like just because I wear so many hats, like I still have to deal with the shit. But like just even like organizing shows and organizing like artists and things like that, I don't understand the mindset of artists that are like, oh my God, can I please be a part of your show? Yeah, you can. Make sure you sell 5 tickets. Cool. Because in reality, if you have 1, 2, 3 headliners and then like 3, 4 openers, and everybody brings 5 people, they pay for a ticket, and you get like the organizer gets 100% of the like door profit. You're able to pay everyone who's performing. Like, it's not just
And you're
preying
able to
off
pay
of
for the
anybody.
fact that you had to rent that venue out.
Right, and all like you're able to pay for some things. You're able to toss some cheddar out there, and then like I've had in the past, dude, where like
We got to pause. I got to pee.
oh
I gotta pee.
no, worries, no
Hold
worries.
that thought.
Yeah, you're breaking the seal.
Ready whenever you are. You can just start right back
Why did
where
I
you were.
just forget?
Oh, I know where you were.
What? Where were
You were
we?
talking about events and putting together live events.
Oh,
and you've had
yeah.
People.
So yeah, but I've had in the past where, some person will hit me up after I put out some feelers or whatever, and they're like, "Yo, I absolutely want to perform, yada yada yada." But it comes to the day before the show, and they're like, or no, like, I hate those people that just don't answer even day of, or day before the show. They're like, "Yeah, no, I can't do it."
Yeah,
and I'm like,
I've learned to like double check days before, a week before. If
yeah,
you
like,
can.
what do you mean I can't do it. Oh, well, you just fucked me. Like, I need, like, that should have been something you tell me, oh, well, I can't do it anymore. Or, yeah, you had let me know, like, hey, no, I don't think I'll be able to do it, or this, that,
now
and the
you
other.
have this 30-minute time slot that nothing's going to happen.
Nothing. And now it's a shorter show. People aren't there as long. This and the other.
Well, and you
there's just
told all the other artists probably what their times are, so
Yes.
you can't even work around that. You told them, and then they told their people,
Right.
hey, I'm going to be on at 9:30.
Now there's either a dead spot or you've moved that artist up and now they're mad. It's like, if you're going to perform, let people know, like, for all the artists out there, like, you need to understand, if you're going to be doing a show and you say you're going to do a show, don't just flake. And if you flake, dude, that's so big on your reputation. Like, there's a handful of people that I just will not do a show with because they just lie. And it's like, be straight up with me and I'll work with you. Like, I don't like I said, so that's kind of the structure, like the whole 5-person thing. That's kind of the structure that I've been doing with shows, like, for a long time now. And like, there were some people from that show who didn't show up on time, didn't have their music ready, didn't bring anybody. So they are contributing nothing. Like, their music wasn't ready. They're delaying the show, and then their music wasn't even like mixed and mastered correctly or whatever. It's just bullshit. And it's like, you're not contributing anything to this show other than stress. Like, why? Like, why? Why are you here? And it's like, I don't want to be rude, but it's like, yo, literally, like, you're being rude to me right now. It's like, get fucked. Like, why?
So I'll say this. I once had an artist arrive at a show, and I wasn't expecting this from this artist, but I've learned afterwards that they do have this reputation.
Yeah.
So they showed up I'm sitting there waiting for them to arrive so I can get their USB so I know what's going to happen because I put together this whole event. Like, I want this to work out.
I want it to pop off.
Yeah,
like,
this matters to me.
Yeah.
And I'm waiting for them to show up, and then they finally show up about 10, 15 minutes before they're supposed to go on, something like that. I think. No, they were late. I had to push things back. Now I remember. I did have to push things back because I remember thinking, I don't know. And then they showed up when I had just enough wiggle room to get them on stage. So I'm like, okay, let's still get you up there. And then they get on stage, and they didn't give me proper instruction on how they wanted me to play their files, right? So they just told me, we're going to shout out the songs, and you're going to just click the files, right? They tell me this, and then they get on the stage. I can't hear them that well. So they're up there shouting out the next song, and it just sounds like... And I'm like, what the fuck am I supposed to click now?
And then they're trying to dog you on stage while you're... Yeah.
And it got to the point where they started dogging me on stage, and I felt personally disrespected.
Dude, it is disrespect.
Like,
it's like,
you don't
fucked up.
I brought all these people here. I'm giving you the opportunity to be on stage.
Why didn't you play the track? Because you're an idiot.
This guy also, he brought on 2 other people on stage that he didn't let me know it was going to be a group performance beforehand. He just brought some people with him that one of them I like and I would have scheduled. Another one, I would have never scheduled that guy. He was the one that was dogging me the most. I could tell just by his demeanor, like, he's not a professional.
Dude, that's
and that
the
type
worst.
of shit is
Yeah.
like, don't drag me into that. Don't drag me. I was throwing you a bone, dog, and now I'm here in this awkward position where I have to make because that when they're on stage and they have their people in the audience, this is a very odd dynamic, right? People are just going to naturally be like, what the fuck's going on? They don't see the fact that these people didn't do a sound check with me.
Right.
They just hopped in and then hopped on stage, and then now they're making me look bad.
Yep.
And there's no proper way for me to
Yep.
respond other than to sit there and just fucking not say anything and just play their next song.
Yeah.
Because no matter what, it's bad politics.
And that's one of the sides that I see for, like, the audio people too, because I see it so often. People, like, the media. That's why when I'm on stage, when something goes wrong, I'm glad I know both sides of it because I can see what the problem is and I know what the problem is. So I know
There's a mutual respect.
Yeah, and I'm just not here to embarrass the people in the back. My job as an entertainer is to keep the flow of the show going. My job is to cover up any mishaps that are happening to make them feel like nothing happened.
And that's what's misunderstood when they dog me on stage like that.
They get nervous.
It's
and
like,
hey, what the fuck? Like, shut the fuck up.
You don't
Clearly
realize
you suck at performing.
because what's happening there, what they don't understand is that they're ruining the whole thing.
Yeah.
Not only are you fucking making me in this awkward position, you're making everything worse for everyone here now.
Yeah.
Because now everyone in the audience is just standing there like you could have played that off smooth, but obviously
Right.
you're a bad freestyler. You don't know how to freestyle in that moment.
Or even just talk to the audience. Like, get intimate with them. Do something. There's
just be
so
like,
many
hey guys,
outlets.
sorry we didn't prepare that
Right.
well, LOL.
There's so many outlets, or
Yeah.
even just like, hey, all right, well, while I get that back together, how's everybody doing? You know, and
Exactly.
then like, how are you doing? What's your name? You know, like, just fill in the space as an entertainer. And then when they get it back up, you'll see a thumbs up in it back and be like, all right, well, anyways, all right, let's get back to this track, you know, smooth, like it didn't even happen. It feels like it was part of the show. Like,
Yeah.
It's like that's what you're supposed to do, not, oh, I'm too nervous and I don't know what I'm doing up here, so I'm just going to point the blame at this person because I hope that it takes the attention off of me. No, you're still standing on stage. You still look like an idiot. You're making everybody uncomfortable. You're also ruining the reputation of the person in the back, ruining your reputation. Now, all I think, if I just seen you for the first time, is this is how your shows go. You know, and that's how you, like, whoever's running the show, that's what people think. It's all because they hired you. And that's why a lot of promoters nowadays who do shows, that's one of the original reasons why they do paid shows, where the artist pays a certain amount of money for a certain amount of tickets. So like that's why for the longest, or for a short time, but people always get so mad and they get so offended, and I'm like, it's not offensive. I'm literally, you pay me the price of 5 tickets worth, and you can perform and you have a slot. So if you don't sell 5 tickets, I don't bite the bullet, and I can still pay for the lighting equipment that I just paid for. I can pay the people who are working the show. I can pay the venue. You know, I can do all this other shit and not be worried because you fucked up, because you didn't keep up your
And
end
if they
of the deal.
do fuck up, it's like they paid a deposit for their fuck up.
Exactly. It's your fuck up, and it's still, so all they have to blame is them. They're out of money, not me. And people are always like, "Oh, well, I don't pay to play shows." And honestly, I've been one of those people saying I don't pay to play shows, but I say that because I know the value of artist that I am, you know? Like, I know that, hey, I'm going to bring out some people. Like, you are going to benefit from the people I bring out and from the type of people I bring out too, because like artists don't understand, like, you look bad as an artist when people show up to see you and then leave right after you. You're not valued as oh my God, let's get this person in, you know, like, you know, let's get this artist in because, you know, like, let's not bring him in because his fans leave right afterwards and no one's going to get any other attention. So then you have to start thinking, like, how you're going to set up the show. Like, if that person does this, they go at the end, or this, that, and the other. And then, you know, it's all this. There's so much going into planning a show because people don't just do what they need to do. And that's why paid shows, like, if I would do a paid show, if it was like a big promoter, a big promoter, a nice venue, and this, that, and the other in the local area that I'm at, I'd pay for a show. Absolutely. Because I can bring out people, I can fill in those spots, I can get my money back from all the tickets that I sell, and some, you know. And then, because oftentimes with paid shows, if you sell more tickets, you make that money. Like, you get to keep that money. Just as, you know, all the money that you initially paid just goes back into the show. But anything past that, tickets you sell, boom. So it's like, but that's the thing, is like, so many artists know, oh, well, I'm not going to be bringing people out, so I'm not going to pay for a show. And a lot of people put a bad stigmatism on that. Like, I mean, there are money hungry promoters out there who are just like, I'm just going to throw on a shit show and make everybody pay like $300. Absolutely not. If I was going to put on a local show that an area that, you know, not a lot of people were well known, I'd be like, all right, well, pay the amount of like 3 tickets, you know. That's a big enough challenge for you in this area. Bring 3 people out that, you know, pay for 3 tickets. You got the spot. Boom, you're an opener. You know, like little shit like that. But I don't know. There's so much, because like I said, I've been on the side of like bitching like, I'm not gonna fucking pay this much money I'm not performing and paying. Fuck that. Like, do you know who I am?
Yeah.
You know, like I've been there, and I've been on the opposite of that too. You know, so like I see the best of both worlds, but it's like that's the key thing is just understanding both sides.
It reminds me of that Kanye line. You're lucky I even showed up to this fake shit.
Dude. And there's bad promoters that give it a bad name too, and that's one of the biggest things.
Well, people get burned, and then they don't want to deal with the rigmarole again.
Right.
Rigmarole. You don't. I hear enough of that word nowadays.
Rigmarole, dude. I use
Bring it
that
back.
actually pretty common. Actually, yeah, rigmarole. Oh, you know what? That made me think about too. So I am shameless plug, hosting a Halloween party. Which, yes, Halloween. I'm mentioning Halloween, but you got to think about it now when you're planning, at least. But, so
especially if you want Grey Goose to be sponsoring
exactly,
it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But we're gonna have it's gonna be at a bar, and we're gonna have a big ass events tent. And we're gonna have like water pong in there. We're gonna have like a stage set up, you know, so a couple different artists can perform. There's gonna be DJs, you know, so they can just DJ the whole night. But it's gonna be a good time. But like shit like that, we might have Jelly Roll come out.
Woo!
Yeah, which is fucking awesome. But like shit like that, like we're planning now. I'm only gonna be selecting like, you know, like serious people. Like sometimes I even like picking serious people over just like people who are popular. You know, like I'd rather the serious person come out and then the, you know, popular person. But we're you know, like with shows, like setting up shows like that, it's like really major. So like a show like that, even though we're not charging for it, you know, I'm still just selecting. But like Jelly Rolls come out. It's a great opportunity. Fucking come out. Don't be flaky. Bring some motherfucking people. You know, shit like that. So hopefully it goes out. But I was, since we were on the topic of you know, like planning shows and shit like that. Like, yeah. So shameless plug.
The only flakes I want to see at that show are someone in a physical snowflake costume.
Yes.
Right?
Absolutely.
The
like,
only flakes we want.
Because originally it was going to be Snoop Dogg. And I blew my mind when, because I guess my partner's pretty connected, I guess you could say. So she was saying something about Snoop Dogg, and I was like, yo, what? Yeah, absolutely. This would be great. But then she hit me up. She's like, okay, well, my connect was saying that they probably could get a Jelly Roll. I'm like, that's even fucking dope. Jelly Roll's awesome.
Yeah,
like,
man. No, that's
Jelly
not
Roll's
even
awesome.
settling. That's great.
It's awesome. So yeah, no, it's gonna be a good time. We're trying to set up a few more shows like that for the whole year.
That's like if someone, like, you know, you were trying to get John Stamos and they told you, sorry, we can only get Daniel Radcliffe.
Right.
Like, we'll
okay.
take Daniel
You
Radcliffe.
tell me Harry Potter's gonna fucking be here? Yes. Fuck.
Right.
Guardian Levy? Yes.
Can we get him to paint a little thunderbolt on his forehead before he
Right.
gets there? Because
I'll paint it on during the fucking show. Like, if that's cool.
yeah, is he okay with that? Because that would up his value by 50% just that alone.
Can he use the microphone as a fucking wand? If he does, then yeah, we'll pay him extra.
Can he just play Harry Potter? Can we just get him to play Harry Potter at the event?
Just the intros, the fucking Hogwarts theme song or whatever.
Yo.
Dude, yeah.
You could literally advertise it as Harry Potter coming back for one night only.
That would be wild.
Yo.
Yeah,
okay,
man.
so the camera here died, so we don't
no worries.
have the camera on anymore, sadly. Ruse is going through a lot right now. He's about to move to Chicago, so I'm my own tech guy. There's a lot of moving parts here.
No
so
worries
if
at
you
all.
want, we could keep going, or we could wrap this bad boy up. But there's no video anymore, so it's up to you, man.
Let's go ahead and wrap it up. I know I gotta, like I said, I hit up a few people before this, and I was like, hey, I'll meet up with you afterwards. So, but no, dude, it was excellent coming out here and talking to you. I was super excited to come out, sit, you know, have a few words and just chill and kick it. So this was perfect. This was absolutely amazing. I appreciate you inviting me out here. Mind if I do a couple plugs?
Well, let me say before you do that, thank you for coming out.
Fuck yeah.
Happy to have you. It was a fantastic conversation. And also keep in mind, yeah, I see you saying thank you to the camera. Thanks. Yo, thanks for having me, bro. As he points to the camera. That's off. The camera's not even on anymore.
Right.
Remember this. The camera died, sadly.
The camera died.
He's pointing at the camera, though. I promise you he is. I swear. I see it with my eyes.
Pointing.
There's an alibi. So, yeah, like what it is I'm happy to have you while I'm in Chicago, too. I mean, you're in Detroit, so it's pretty much the same. Only a couple, like an extra hour from maybe an extra couple hours from where you headed to today. So, and it gives you a reason to come out and visit Chicago for a day.
Absolutely.
Or two. So I'd be happy to have you on the show again, man. For real.
100%. Yeah. After. Shit, yeah, in a couple months, man. After a couple months, let's try to plan something, yeah, because it'd be dope. I have a few more songs released from that EP that I'm talking about, and it's gonna be a really good time, yeah. So
yeah, it'll be the stars will align for that one.
Yes, and I'll bring more Goose.
He'll bring
Goose.
2 gallons.
2 gallons, dude. I will. I swear.
But yeah, go for those plugs.
Yeah. So again, my name is TJA. If you guys haven't known me, pioneer in the freaking Flint area for a long time till I moved. But TJA, all my social media is TJA official. So at TJA official. If you want to look me up on YouTube, Instagram, all that, this, that, and the other, TJA official. Then what's the other one? Look me up on Spotify, all platforms for TJA. My website is tjaofficial.com. It's pretty freaking simple. I made it easy for everyone. You can find me, okay? But yeah, look me up. I'm going to be releasing some new music here. I just released a new music video. IDFLU. It's I Don't Fucking Like You. That's the song. It's a song about an ex of mine. It was gold, fucking gold. But anyways, look me up. I'm doing a lot of big things, trying to keep consistent here in the next few months. We'll be doing a bunch of music videos, a bunch of this, that, and the other, and we'll be doing a bunch of shows down in Detroit and just really Michigan, man. Flint, Detroit, Waterford, all the different areas, Pontiac. So yeah, look me up, check me out. Make sure you subscribe, all this, that, and the other. And yeah, I love y'all. I love y'all. Stay real, stay true.
Stay real, stay true. Yes. And I love y'all too. And with that love that I have for y'all, I hope you extend it right back to the entire universe, all right? Love as love is, okay? Put it out there. I promise you, it'll have a nice feedback.
Hey.
With that being said, chicka chicka Rose Radio, clocking out. Ain't nobody